It's time for Bethune-Cookman men's basketball. Head coach Reggie Theus and the Wildcats are here to prove they won't back down from any Southwestern Athletic Conference opponent. If you love fast-paced basketball and high-energy action, you're in the right place.
Flunks it up. One-handed throw down.
Let's go courtside for today's game. It's about to get crazy. And now here's the voice of the Wildcats, Mike Truello, on the CatEye Radio Network.
Well, live from Moore Gymnasium on the campus of Bethune-Cookman University in beautiful downtown Daytona Beach, Florida. It's time for tonight's Southwestern Athletic Conference basketball game featuring the Bulldogs of Alabama A&M and the Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman. It's just about time as we reach halfway through the conference schedule tonight. Both of these teams still sit in playoff positioning. Bethune-Cookman in 4th place right now at 5-3. Alabama A&M at 3-5. On paper, this one belongs to the maroon and gold. But in practice, Alabama A&M comes into tonight with a big advantage. The Wildcats have been reduced to just 9 active players because of injury, while Alabama A&M is running with nearly 20 fresh bodies. My name is Michael Turillo, happy to have your company. TJ White joins me from the broadcast desk. TJ, it's going to be tough for the Wildcats tonight. A lot of guys going to get a lot of minutes.
Yeah, definitely, especially with 9 players hurt, limited to only 7 and left in the rotation. So I'm interested to see how Coach Theus has his minutes rotation in during this game.
The Wildcats have even activated Trayvon Barbary, who was on the squad 2 years ago. Didn't really play, walked on, still stuck around as a student at B-CU, and he's just here to kind of make up the numbers. We may see him get in the game, we may not, but Barbary is back tonight. As we get closer to game time, let's take a look at your Southeast Toyota dealers' keys to the game. TJ, what do you got?
For Alabama A&M today, we have getting boards and winning the free throw battle. Alabama A&M is #1 in boards and they're #1 in points. So getting points off them putbacks helps them win the game and put them in positions to get to the free throw line as well. B-CU will have to limit free throws and crash the boards, as Alabama A&M are the #1 rebounding team in the SWAC. So getting those boards and preventing them second chance points are very important. And last but not least, limit turnovers. Alabama A&M is 2nd in the SWAC in steals per game. So Wildcats need to come in and protect the ball early.
Those are your Southeast Toyota dealers' keys to the game.
At home or on the road, they're never the underdog. Toyota, let's go places. Lease a new 2024 Toyota Tacoma SR5 for $389 a month for 36 months. Offer valid through February 3rd, 2025. Well-qualified lessees with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. $36.88 due at signing. No security deposit with select equipment. $350 disposition fee. Excludes tax tag registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details.
Here are your starting lineups for tonight's contest. First for Alabama A&M. We lead off with the best player wearing dark maroon tonight, A.C. Bryant. He wears number 0 at junior guard, 6'3" from Shreveport, Louisiana. The team leader in points per game, field goals made, 3-pointers made, and free throws made. Quincy McGriff is a sophomore guard, 6'6" from Los Angeles, California. The team leader in free throw percentage. At guard is a 6'3" senior from Atlanta, Georgia, London Riley, the former Georgia Highlands Community College player. At forward is a 6'9" senior, Chance Crosby from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. He leads this team in field goal percentage, shooting it at over 61%. And he spent time at multiple community colleges. And rounding out the starting lineup for the Bulldogs is the best blocker in the SWAC, a sophomore forward, 6'8", from Atlanta, Georgia, Chad Moody leads the SWAC in blocks with 37, and also has the only Bulldog to start all 22 games this season. And for the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats, they'll run out the same starting 5 that beat Alabama State on Saturday. Trey Thomas is a junior guard, 6'2", from Washington, D.C., the team leader in points, free throw percentage, and 3-pointers made, also steals and assists. Seneca Willoughby is a junior guard, 6'3", from Wyckonote, Pennsylvania, the team leader in 3-point percentage at just under 35%. Khalil Kamara, the senior forward, 6'7", from the Bronx, New York, the former West Virginia State player at Division II last year. And senior forward, 6'7" from Malaga, España, is Jesus Carolero Martin. He is third in the SWAC in blocks with 35, just behind Chad Moody's 37. The two best blockers in the conference go at it tonight. And Daniel Ruzan is the man in the middle, 6'8", the center from Las Vegas, Nevada, the transfer from Manhattan College, the former Bishop Gorman High School standout. But we got to talk about who's not here. The Wildcats have 6 players missing through injury. That includes the SWAC's leading rebounder, Reggie Ward Jr., the SWAC's second leading scorer, Brayon Freeman, and the preseason All-SWAC, Antoine Jones, who's been out since November. We talked about it on Saturday, but the second leg of a weekend series, when you're down so many players, TJ, how do the Wildcats manage these minutes tonight?
It's going to be hard, definitely. You know, after Saturday night's game, they already was down 4 players. Now you add another 2 to the injury report. It's going to be very hard for these players, to have the energy to stay in this game. So they're going to have to come out fast and play strong and start early because they don't want to get into a long game, outstanding game.
Yeah. Good to see Seneca Willoughby in the starting lineup tonight. He came out late in that game on Saturday against Alabama State, holding his arm. We thought he might be out for a longer period of time, but he's back in the starting lineup tonight. There is some key pieces missing for Alabama A&M. Lorenzo Downey, who started 20 straight games at the beginning of the season, is missing his second straight game. The senior guard from Dartmouth, Canada, was second on this team in minutes per game at 22.9, and that tells you pretty much all you need to know about how deep this Alabama A&M Bulldogs team is. Their leading minutes per game getter is Chad Moody at 28.3. Nobody in this squad averages more than 28 minutes per game.
Well, definitely. They use all their players. Their roster is deep. They trust everybody, so they let everybody get a chance, and that's how you keep your players healthy. That's how you keep your players fresh, and you can make multiple lineups and multiple formations with different players. So it's interesting to see how Bethune will stay in this game due to Alabama's versatility. Again,
the records belong to the Wildcats in this matchup. They're 8-13 on the year, 5-3 in SWAC play. Alabama A&M 7-14. 3-5 in conference play, and the Bulldogs got drubbed by Florida A&M up in Tallahassee on Saturday, 95-79. This Alabama A&M team scores the most points per game in the conference at 77, but gives up the second most at 77.1. So we could see a lot of points tonight.
Yeah, definitely. We could definitely see a high-scoring game tonight. But like I said, also, we don't want to see a close game either due to Bethune's limited manpower. So like I said, the Alabama A&M is looking to bounce back after a bad showing at Florida A&M. So we'll see how the game goes today with their energy.
And the Bulldogs have also lost 3 of their last 4. They've also lost to Texas Southern in overtime, Alabama State, and they beat Prairie View on January 27th. In that win against Prairie View last weekend, they won it 98-82. It was the most points Alabama A&M has had versus a SWAC team since 2006 when they scored 99 against Texas Southern. And that game didn't even go to overtime, and they scored almost 100 points. So that's the kind of offensive power we're looking at here with Alabama A&M. And the Wildcats are going to have to match the intensity they had defensively on Saturday. Remember, they were so cold from the floor, especially in the middle of that second half. But the defense kept them in it. They kept them around, especially when the Hornets went on that big run where they hit 7 threes. The defense managed to keep them in it. They're going to have to do it again tonight.
Yes, definitely. And one thing that Coach D has even emphasized after that game, making free throws. The 17 for 35, the Wildcats went from the free throw line on Saturday. And also, Alabama State also missed a lot of free throws that night. So today, we don't want to miss those opportunities, especially with a team that scores a lot of points and they get a lot of putbacks off the second chance points as well. So they need to come out strong.
And the Bulldogs come in. They look at this team. They look at only 7 players available for the Wildcats. They should be feeling confident. Here we go. We're just about ready to start this one. Monday night, SWACtion here on the CatEye Network. It's the Bulldogs in maroon, the Wildcats in the white and gold. It goes straight out of bounds, and it'll go to Alabama A&M. And to your point, TJ, if the Wildcats hit even a majority of their free throws on Saturday, they win that game at a canter instead of winning it by 3.
Definitely. They missed so many free throws and so many chances they could have been put the game out of reach.
The Wildcats will trap aggressively at the midcourt stripe. Quincy McGriff hands off, and it comes back to Crosby at the top. Down low it goes to Chad Moody, the SWAC's leader in blocks. McGriff drives, dumps it off to Moody at the dunker spot. He plays against Carolero Martin, and Martin does enough to win the battle that first time. That's going to be a big matchup between the SWAC's 2 best blockers.
That was a good defensive possession for the Wildcats.
Let's see what the Wildcats run offensively. They weren't great from the three-point line on Saturday, Bethune-Cookman. Just 2 of 18. But the centers really picked him up. Ruzan and Onanina combined for 30 points. Here is Daniel Ruzan. He gets it swatted by Moody. McGriff all the way in. A big block by Ruzan, and on the rebound, Crosby steps out. It's a block fest at Moore Gym through the first 3 possessions.
Biggs making a statement early. Nothing gonna be easy in the paint.
And both teams playing almost full court press here early on.
Especially with Bethune's limited players, it totally makes sense to tire them out early and put them on the edge.
Ruzan open underneath against McGriff. He spins, he lays it up and in, and the Wildcats are on the board first. I think Ruzan and Onanina have to have big nights tonight and a repeat performance of what they did on Saturday.
Definitely, they did keep the Wildcats in it, especially with all those missed free throws. Their game, their physical presence in the paint definitely helped the team grind out that win.
Coach Theus said in the post-game interview, quote, "We have the best 5 men in the league." Here's Moody against Carolero Martin, and Chad Moody, who averages 10.9 points per game, is on the board, and Alabama A&M has their first points. Martin with his back to the basket. Resets to Willoughby. Zoom action coming off the screen for Khalil Kamara. 10 to shoot, back to Kamara, his wing triple. Just off the heel, but Ruzan keeps it alive for the Wildcats. He tried to dump it off to Martin, who wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, he wasn't ready.
In transition, A.C. Bryant, bucket and the foul drawn on Seneca Willoughby.
We talked about this earlier too, Mike, limiting them turnovers. As soon as they turned the ball over, Alabama A&M came back and scored right off of it.
It's just, I think if you're Daniel Ruzan, that's a little bit too selfless. You got to try and put that up. You had a mismatch against McGriff down low.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely had a chance to shoot the shot. I see what he's trying to do, get his teammates involved, but sometimes you got to be a little selfish.
Bryant rolls in the free throw, and it's 5-2. This Wildcats team has had a tendency to start really slow, both at the start of games and the start of second halves. Trey Thomas flying to the rack, gets it stuffed, but Kamara's right there for the putback.
That was a beautiful little drop down after contact. I love it. I love seeing Trey pass and share that ball.
Thomas tries to blow up the screen. McGriff works through it. Moody lost the ball, but it comes straight to Bryant, and in the chaos, he hits the mid-range jump shot.
You need to take advantage of opportunities like that when you have the ball in your hands to make go switch possessions and make a play.
And Coach Theus already angry about something.
Players out there with butterfingers.
This is a matchup of very veteran coaches, Reggie Theus for the Wildcats and Otis Hewley Jr. for the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. Hewley only in his 3rd season with Alabama A&M, but he has tons of experience both in the U.S. and abroad. Pick and roll, Ruzan way off on the floater. Transition, deep 3, rattles out for London Riley. Trey Thomas all the way. Oh, just missed a layup. The putback is also no good. Wildcats buzzing around the rim early. Thomas in the corner. No good. Ruzan another offensive board, and he got the ball ripped away, but it will stay with the Wildcats. It's chaos ball early.
Definitely. Alabama look like they're just everywhere, and they're just causing problems for these Wildcats. They just, every time they look up, there's someone in their face.
Wildcats just 2 of their first 9 to start the game from the floor.
Not good.
Thomas in a double team, back to Ruzon. He pulls up, misses it off the window, but it's tapped back to Seneca. Thomas tries another three, in and out again. Nothing going down for the Wildcats here early.
That's not good, especially how good.
Oh, Thomas comes up with the steal. Running the floor is Seneca. Up top to Khalil Kamara.
That's a tempo changer right there. They definitely needed that, Mike.
I mentioned chaos ball. It is all chaos right now.
Definitely on both sides of the ball.
Neither team has been able to get into a really good rhythm. Moody takes the outside jumper and hits it.
What a shot.
You don't want him getting going early.
Definitely not. And you don't want to keep this a close game for a long time with the limited players.
A weave action at the top. Thomas wide open, chooses to pass it off. Kamara in the corner. Oh my goodness.
I like the unselfishness though. Even though it's missed, I love how he took away his shot, gave his teammate a better shot.
No look pass to the corner. Here's a three for Alabama A&M, and it's good. Timeout on the floor. First media timeout. It's all Alabama A&M right now as the Wildcats can't hit anything and the Bulldogs can't miss anything.
Definitely. They came out hot. They shooting the ball, shooting the midi, getting to the paint, and one shots. Alabama A&M came to play today.
The Wildcats just 3 of their first 13. I mean, there are some promising numbers, right? They forced the turnover for Alabama A&M. They've got second chance looks. They just haven't finished them.
Yeah, definitely. It's very hard to get those shots, but every time you get the ball back, you look up, there's someone in your face. And right now, they're already sitting with 1-2 blocks in the paint. And the Wildcats just can't get shots to fall from that three-point line, especially coming down from Saturday. They got to switch up the offense and find out to get shots flowing.
You love Bethune-Cookman University sports? Of course you do. Then don't miss Hail Wildcats Radio, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of all 15 Wildcat sports programs. Hosted by voice of the Wildcats, Michael Turillo, and featuring the expertise of sports information directors Bryce Wojnowski and Brian Harvey, Hail Wildcats Radio delivers unparalleled coverage of your favorite teams. Tune to 1380 WLE Daytona Beach every Thursday to catch the show live an hour before the women's game. Or listen anytime on your favorite podcast platform, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Anchor. We're on all of them. So tune on in to Hail Wildcats Radio. Hot start for the Bulldogs. This kind of reminds me of that period in the second half on Saturday, TJ, where Alabama State just couldn't miss. They hit 7 of 9 on three-pointers, take a big lead before the Wildcats came back late.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not where you want to start in a game like this. You know, Alabama, they have depth, they have the players, they have the means, they score a lot of points. And you don't want to let them get too comfortable early in the game because then this is just going to keep continuing throughout and you're going to make it a tough game for yourself.
And for the Wildcats, it really looked like they're starting and playing Alabama A&M's game, which is this really up-tempo, run-and-gun style. The Wildcats want to slow the game down, get into a grindy half-court game. They haven't been able to do that yet.
Yes, definitely.
And they trail by 6 at the first media timeout. There's a reach-in foul. It'll go against Moody.
I love to see Onanina start getting involved with this game. Fresh out, coming off the bench, just establishing yourself in that paint early.
David Onanina, who had a season-high 14 points on Saturday night, all off the bench, and all in the first half as well.
Really changed the perfection of that game.
Let's see if they try and find him down low. Onanina tries to get position. It's Thomas into traffic. He is fouled.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love the tough drive. They need fouls, get to the free throw line, get easy buckets, get your shots flowing.
And maybe unlike Saturday, getting to the free throw line is just what the Wildcats need. It's Trey Thomas at the stripe. He came into the weekend as the SWAC's leading free throw percentage shooter at over 84%, but he was so poor on Saturday, he's dropped his average all the way to 78.8.
That's a drop-off, and them free throws matter.
He was 8 of 14 from the free throw line. He got there a ton, and again, he makes even half of those.
Definitely a different score from that game, for sure.
as we see the first of many, many, many substitutions that Alabama A&M will make tonight. They'll bring in Edgy and Young as Thomas goes 2-2. Now the Wildcats got to get stops. Here's Bilal Abdur-Rahman, the diminutive guard, wears number 2. He's the man that took the conference lead in free throw percentage when it was relinquished by Trey Thomas after Saturday. Oh, look out. Trey Thomas up the floor after a steal, and he'll lay it up.
Beautiful defense. Beautiful vision.
I thought he was going to go for the slam, and he thought better of it, just took the points.
Yeah, he just made it easy for himself. You don't want to let the ball bounce in the air.
McGriff stops. Riley pops and misses it. One thing Thomas did do well on Saturday was rebound. He had 10 rebounds for his first career double-double. And as the shortest guy on the floor, that's tough to do.
Yeah, shows his aggressiveness that game and his determination.
Willoughby trapped on the baseline, back out to Carolero Martin.
Beautiful shot, beautiful shot.
Martin Potres, and the Wildcats have their first three-pointer of the game.
That's good, getting the rhythm.
And they've come back to take the lead, a quick 7-0 run after the timeout. And again, it starts on the defensive end with those 2 steals.
Definitely. Being aggressive, making them uncomfortable.
Moody backs down Martin and scores. I think they're going to go to Moody a lot tonight.
Definitely.
Moody's season high is 21, and he's averaging 11 a game.
Yeah, he must be doing something right, getting all the minutes.
Those numbers could be under threat tonight if he keeps playing like that. Thomas drives past Bilal. Martin back to Thomas. Missed it, but Willoughby's right there. Kamara, beautiful baseline drive.
I love the ball movement the Wildcats are doing right now. Nobody's being selfish. They're passing the ball around, giving everybody open chances and open looks.
Moody at the top. Looking for the back cut by Rahman. Quincy McGriff against Seneca. To Moody in the corner, he's got a game-high 6. Shooting the 3 and missing it badly is Anyang. Anyang, one of the internationals on this team, one of 5 players from outside the U.S. on this Alabama A&M team, originally from Australia. Anyang. Down to Onanina. He works on McGriff. Hook shot. Got it to go.
Get into that spot every time.
That's his patented 60s hook shot to beat Onanina.
Works every time.
He was 6 for 6 on the floor in the first half on Saturday.
Definitely.
Deep 3 by McGriff. Back rim. And it'll be Wildcat ball, last touched by Moody as we go to the second media timeout. SWAC basketball is back. Don't miss your chance to catch every second of B-CU basketball action at Moore Gym. The Wildcats will host a men's and women's doubleheader on Saturday, February 10th, as they play the Tigers of Grambling State. The women on Thursday against Southern, and then the men on Monday. That is the doubleheader on Saturday against Southern. The men against Grambling on the Monday, the women on Thursday.
Gotcha.
So the women on the 6th, both on the 8th, the men on the 10th. That's the next homestand for Bethune-Cookman. But they got to go on the road next week for a tough series against the Texas teams, Prairie View and Texas Southern. Prairie View reeling right now. They're 3-6, but Texas Southern, man, 7-1, absolutely flying right now, second place in the league. They're only lost to first place Southern. That's going to be a tough road trip.
Yes, definitely. It's going to be a hard game for them, especially with the player Kavion McClain. He's just an all-around balanced player, and I've heard about him. I've been looking at him for a while now, so I hope they come into that game prepared.
And that Texas trip is maybe the toughest road trip in the conference schedule. I mean, I made it with football in the fall. That's a long trip out there to Houston.
I believe it. All the way out there?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
So the Wildcats have responded to lead 17-14 after they were down 12-6. That's an 11-2 run over the last 3:22. And I think that first media timeout was important for Coach Theus to calm his guys down, say, let's remember our fundamentals, work on our defense. They have 2 turnovers since that point. and they've made it work.
Yes, definitely. They want to just play their game of basketball and not get too loose, not get too sloppy, because they don't want to let anything go outside of their realm of what they want to do today with all those injuries.
3 new players already in for Alabama A&M at that timeout. Saliu Sei, A.C. Bryant returned, and I believe Darius Ford is also in the game as well.
He's 7 foot.
But it doesn't matter because Onanita goes right at Anyang and lays it in. We talked about that on Saturday, though, right? How they had the size advantage over us, but yet our 2 centers were our 2 best players in that game.
Definitely, just physically being better than them. Even though they're taller, they've made their way into the paint and showed who's the stronger player.
Ramon, the little teardropper, out of bounds. It'll stay with the Bulldogs as Seneca Willoughby was battling with the 7-footer Saliu Sei from Dakar, Senegal. Sei working his way back from injury. This is his first time not starting this season. And that's a bucket and 1 for A.C. Bryant, left alone in the dunker spot on the inbound.
Bethune really wants to get those boards when they come off the ball. I know it's hard with these 7-footers out here on the court, but they need to box out and get these rebounds, so they're allowing second chance points like this and extra free throw as well to come off of it.
And on the court right now is the 6'9" Crosby, the 7-foot tall Sei, and the 6'8" Moody. That's a tall lineup.
Definitely. And they already lead the SWAC in rebounds, so you know they crash the boards hard.
The B-CU lead has been reduced to 2 after that 3-point play. Daniel Ruzan is in. Offensive foul. Push-off called against Jarrell Love, who's just checked in for the Wildcats.
I love the thought that he had to drive and attack those big players, but you can't push off while you're doing it.
But the Wildcats responded with the 2 bigs of their own, Onanita and Ruzan. I think Ruzan will play the 4 and Onanita the 5, but we'll see.
Ruzan's game's just a little bit more versatile than Onanita to play that 4th position.
Down low it goes to Crosby, working on Ruzan. Thomas bottles up Ramon. Deep 3 for Bryant. Oh my goodness.
Oh my.
A.C. Bryant has 11 points in the first 10 minutes.
He's the #1 scorer for a reason. He shoots the ball with confidence, and he's already made his mark on this game multiple times already.
Averaging 14.7 a game, A.C. Bryant. He's 4 of 4 from the field. That was his first 3. Thomas pulls up, knocks down.
We're definitely going to need Thomas this game if A.C. Bryant is going to keep going off the way he is. Thomas is going to have one of his career nights tonight.
Bryant's got 11, Chad Moody's got 6, the 2 big scorers for Bama A&M early. Darius Ford hands it off to Ramon. That's the second time Ramon's tried that little teardropper. It didn't go. Thomas, no look pass to Ruzan. That's good defense underneath by Sei. The Wildcats get it back though. Love his foul.
That's good, I love it. They didn't settle. Trey didn't settle for no 3. He dished it down and attempted to get to the goal and get a foul or anything. So it did work out for them. No matter what happens, you can keep playing after it.
You talked about it in the Southeast Toyota Dealers Keys to the Game. Crash the boards, right? The Wildcats have a 7-1 advantage on the offensive glass right now. But only 4 second chance points.
They got to take advantage of getting that ball back, whether it's at the free throw line or making them second chance 3s or 2s.
Yeah, this is a big spot for Jarrell Love this weekend. Only averaging 6 minutes a game, the junior out of Fort Worth, Texas. Played his first 2 college seasons at Baton Rouge Community College in Louisiana.
Getting some important minutes tonight.
How many minutes did he have on Saturday, Love? He played 17 minutes.
More than his average, was a 6.
But when you're so banged up, nice tap back by Martin. The Wildcats playing 4 on 5 right now as Ruzan was all the way to the other end of the floor.
Onanita wants the ball.
He's got the ball. He gets to his spot with the spin move.
I love it. I love this game right now. Back-to-back games, just using that spin, getting to his spot, making the easy mid-jumper.
And he's doing it against Moody. It's not an easy matchup.
Definitely not.
the Taiwanese international Warren Ye in the game for the first time. That's a three-pointer miss. It'll stay with the Bulldogs. Last touch by Martine. Martine is not happy. He's telling the referee he got hooked. But Warren Ye from Taipei, former #1 prospect on the U19 Taiwanese international team. There's Darius Ford. He's got Martine all sorts of crossed up. But a foul called against Bethune-Cookman as Jarrell Love picks up his second personal after hooking Saying underneath.
You definitely don't want to get into foul trouble either, especially these limited players. Losing a player to foul trouble will hurt you just even more.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the Wildcats leave him in. Ye sets his feet, misses the three. Onanina got the rebound. Martine driving on Ye. Rozon with the three. Oh. I think that's the first three I've seen Rozon attempt all year.
It was a good attempt, too. It wasn't bad.
Underneath, in position, Ye, put that good.
Gotta box out. Gotta box out. Everybody on this team rebounds.
And I want to bring up something that Coach Diaz said in his post-game interview on Saturday, which was no team in this conference is going to quit at any point.
At any point, that is so true, especially this nitty-gritty conference. Everyone's trying to fight and make a spot.
Martine got picked off in a double team, and Moody scores at the other end. Already 8 points off turnovers for Alabama A&M in this first half.
Gotta limit those turnovers.
We got Martine at 6'7" playing point guard right now. Onanina going to work. Muscling it up, and he'll go to the free throw line.
That's a good way to slow the game down, let your players get their breath. Because a lot of people are going to be playing a lot of minutes tonight.
As we go to the under 8 media timeout, balanced scoring for the Wildcats. Thomas has 6, Kamara has 6, Onanina has 6. For Alabama A&M, it's all Bryant's and Moody. Bryant's got 11, and Moody has got 8. Nobody else with more than 3 on the team.
Yeah, their 2 best players are showing up tonight, and it shows on the stat sheet as well. They're coming to play. They're going to take their shots. They're going to establish themselves and say, hey, if you're going to beat us, you have to beat our 2 best players.
Already 10 players used for Alabama A&M in this first half, as opposed to the Wildcats 7.
Keeping their people fresh.
The Wildcats have been held scoreless over the last 144. But again, David Onanina, 3 of 3 from the field. Khalil Kamara, 3 of 5. So their forwards are doing the work.
Yeah, definitely. The forwards, just like last game, will have to work to keep them in the game. It's going to be a very slow-close game for the Wildcats. They don't want to run up and down the field consistently. They want to get in the half-court set, run their offense, take their time, and get their points.
Nike is the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Gear up on the newest B-CU Nike gear at Nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. And make sure you are representing Bethune-Cookman University Athletics to the fullest. Buy the latest B-CU gear online at the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to BCUathletics.com and click on shop to find the newest B-CU clothing and apparel. That's BCUathletics.com. and click on shop. I do need to amend something I said earlier. I misread the schedule. The next home slate for the Wildcats is February 15th and 17th. They're home against Alcorn State and Jackson State to start the home stretch of conference play, starting those return legs from earlier in the season. And they'll play them in the same order that they played them the first time, so the Wildcats will go on the road against the Texas schools, then start the home stretch. Alcorn and Jackson at home, the Bama schools on the road, Southern and Grambling at home, and then Florida A&M at home to close out the season. We're already getting close to the end of the season here. It's wild to think we're already into February.
Yeah, games start, what, November, right?
Yeah.
November, so hey, every game matters, especially these conference games coming down to the wire.
Onanina at the line, got his first one on Saturday night, he was 5 of 6 from the floor, but only 2 of 5 from the stripe. But he's perfect that time.
It looks like everybody's cleaning up them free throws after a poor performance on Saturday.
What do you want to bet that they spent the entire Sunday practice shooting free throws?
I would have did the same thing.
Kamara blows up the pass. Behind the back where he tried to get Ruzan. Guys, you can't be too fancy with it.
Definitely not. Either just take the foul or gather yourself and then pass the ball. It was 3 against 1 on that break. I would have took my time.
And the Wildcats do that a lot, where they try to go for the flashy move instead of the high percentage move. Here's a high percentage chance for Moody just crashing down the lane.
That was just too easy, especially off of just getting a steal.
2 players in double figures already for the Bulldogs. Moody with 10, Bryant with 11. Ruzan lost it. The Wildcats have not been dealing with this Alabama A&M trap well. They've been throwing the ball away a couple of times. Already the 5th turnover of the first half for B-CU, only 3 for Alabama A&M.
And they do not have a true guard in the game as well. Trey Thomas and Seneca out, so they have a forward running point.
5 forward lineup. We love to see it.
Hasn't really hurt them too much, but...
Well, it's hurt them on the offensive end. Defensively, they've been fine.
Yep.
As Kamara, again, grabs a steal and draws a foul. Bodies everywhere on the floor.
I seen Kamara get hit in the hip. I hope he's okay. We don't need no more players injured right now.
Seneca's coming back in. As he'll replace Darrell Love. Crucially for the Wildcats, nobody's got more than 1 personal foul. I mixed up Kamara and Love on one of them.
That's good. You want to stay out of foul trouble. Keep your players fresh. Keep them out of foul trouble so you can play hard basketball if you have to get to the point where it's nitty-gritty.
26 all coming down the home stretch of the first half. Ruzan got rejected by Moody. Warren Ye up the floor. Waits for 2 defenders to go by, but pulling down the rebound is Martin. Martin wide open, extra pass. Kamara, no. Again, the 3 ball, not the Wildcats' friend tonight. They're just 1 of 8.
That's not good. Not being able to get shots to fall is bad.
After going 2 of 18 on Saturday.
Especially when you have a great shot blocker in the paint like Moody. It's going to be hard to get those points in the paint as well.
Backdoor slip to Moody. Correction, that's Crosby. The Wildcats are having trouble guarding those backdoor cuts off of ball screens. Onanina down low, puts it up, scores the bucket.
That signature move everywhere around the paint. That's just exactly what he does.
Guess what? For the 2nd straight game, David Onanina off the bench has double digits in the first half.
This game is going to be definitely important, especially lacking all those players. He's going to have to come to play.
Wildcats crowd gets loud. It was a late arriving crowd, but pretty full up now here at Moore Gym. Moody against Ruzan, hook shot short. Good defense by Daniel. Martin will run the point. Back to Onanina. Oh, that's his first miss of the game. He was 4 for 4 previously.
I love this shot. He just rushed it a little bit. He got too excited.
Ramon in the corner. No shot. Ye stepped out of bounds.
It was too big.
As Trey Thomas will come in to close the first half, the last 5 minutes. And it's telling that he took Ruzan out instead of Onanina. Seniority and playing time when you would think that Ruzan would get the minutes here.
It's definitely Onanina's game. The way he plays just helps the Wildcats establish themselves way more.
18 of the Wildcats' 28 points in the paint so far today. Wildcats trying to employ that same backdoor cut, but the Bulldogs guard it well. Onanina back to the basket. Willoughby on the drive, back to David. Oh yeah!
Onanina is causing problems for Alabama A&M right now. I seen 2 players move as soon as he got the ball. He's causing havoc for him.
And a deep three by McGriff. No good, but batted straight back to him. In the corner, Rahman, good. The threes have been falling for Alabama A&M. That's their 3rd of the first half.
Even though he airballed twice, he's still never scared to shoot.
1-point lead to the Bulldogs. And it goes out off of Anyang underneath. And still we have fresh bodies rotating in for Alabama A&M. This is Aaron Smith and Jalen Colon, who haven't seen the floor. So bodies 12 and 13 already in this first half for the Bulldogs.
And it's not good for Bethune, too, with a very close game. And it's looking like it's very back and forth.
Thomas with the step back. Missed it. Kamara the rebound. He's surrounded by maroon jerseys, just heaves one. And Seneca was wide open. He was asking for the ball. The other way, Bryant off balance. Had it tapped right back to him by Moody. Check that, that's Anyang in the game. I'm having trouble keeping track of all the substitutions for the Bulldogs.
There's so many names, so many players.
McGriff working his way inside and goes with the up and under. 3-point lead for the Bulldogs. Their largest has been 6 at 12-6.
And everybody touches the ball and everybody drives hard. So it's going to be hard to figure out who they're going to keep their eye on all night.
Cats down 3, 3.5 to go first half. Thomas on the blow-by. Finds Martin. Onanina is open again. They're just leaving him open.
He's got it. His game is hard to stop.
He had 14 in the first half on Saturday. He's got 12 right now.
Looking to break that today. Especially how they're having problems with him inside that paint.
Bryant, the top scorer for the Bulldogs. Bryant gets it back. 3 from the corner. Oh my goodness.
He's on.
He is on it. 5 of 6 from the floor, 2 of 2 from downtown for AC Bryant. He's got 14 in the first half.
Outside of Onanina, we're going to need Trey Thomas to get into this game as well.
Kamara spins away. Onanina, 6 to shoot. Martin pulls up and splashes down the nail jumper.
Beautiful mid-range shot.
Wildcats keeping themselves interested, but have had it tough going on the defensive end. The Bulldogs shooting nearly 50%. McGriff in traffic. Wide open is Colon. He takes the 3. He hits another 3.
Oh my goodness, Mike.
5 threes in the first half.
No one's scared. They're all attacking. They're all shooting with confidence.
And then Thomas gets fouled by McGriff.
Well, that's a little.
He thought he stripped it.
That's a little late.
And we'll go to a timeout with 1:49 to go. The Wildcats not playing badly offensively, shooting 43% from the floor, but 1 of 9 from 3 is killing them.
Definitely.
And the Bulldogs, 5 of 12 from 3, shooting 50% from the floor, 16 of 32. You can see why this Alabama A&M squad shoots the best in the SWAC in terms of points per game.
Yes, definitely. They're definitely showing how they can be involved in every game they play. And they came to play today, especially coming off a loss earlier this week. They're coming to play, get it back, and they're not playing around. Everybody's taking a shot. Everybody's shooting threes. Everyone's driving to the goal. Everyone's touching the ball. I just love the way they're playing together right now. Like you said, everyone's going to get on the field, so it's definitely building that team chemistry.
AC Bryant has matched his season average in the first half. 5 of 6 from the floor, 2 of 2 from 3. In just 11 minutes, he's got 14.
Yeah, he's looking to have a big night tonight. Already with his season averaging 14 tonight. And then the way it's looking, it seems like no one can completely stop him or slow his game down because everybody's getting a shot. So I look to see how the coach is going to implement him more into the offense to run this lead up.
Stay up to date with everything Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give B-CU Athletics a like on Facebook and follow the Wildcats on X and Instagram at B-CU_Athletics. For the latest on B-CU men's basketball, follow at B-CU Hoops on X and Instagram. Defensively, TJ, how do you cool off someone like that that's that hot?
You typically, I would say, put pressure on them, double team them, you know, just guard them full court. But, you know, with the way that the Wildcats are set up right now, they're not looking to full court press. They're not looking to play extra aggressive because they're trying to conserve that energy. Because the way it's looking, this game is going to go all the way down to the wire unless Alabama runs away with it. So they just have to win one-on-one basketball and get turnovers, create turnovers, and score off those turnovers.
5-point lead, second largest of the night for AAMU. Their largest lead was 12-6. Onanina has almost single-handedly kept the Wildcats interested in this first half. Martin takes the long one, and he got it. That's a long 2 for Carolero. Now the Wildcats need a stop. Here's Smith, baseline jumper, off to the left. Willoughby, he's got numbers with him. He dumps it off to Carolero.
Beautiful, beautiful. They need to get back.
They don't want to stretch the floor like that too often because that's Alabama A&M's game.
Make them tired.
But the Wildcats a quick 4-0 run to pull within 1 with a minute to go in the first half. AC Bryant already has 14. Going to the drive for more, but Martin walls up and says, no thank you, sir. And then gets away from that double team barely.
This Alabama team is definitely built to run, especially keeping their players fresh. Ooh,
Martin heat check. But Thomas grabs the rebound. Another offensive board for the Cats, their 11th of the first half. Thomas had that one blocked. It'll stay with the Cats off the foot of Rahman underneath.
That was just not a good shot choice. He had enough time to reset.
Yeah, Coach Theus wants a timeout, and I can understand why. He's frustrated because of some bad shot selection, both from Martin and Thomas. Like, Thomas, I can understand. He takes those kind of threes. Martin, that's not really his game. He pulled up from almost half court.
Yeah, he was definitely feeling it. I don't know what he took before the game, but he was feeling that shot.
He's like, I hit one. Let's see if I can hit another one. But again, every time Alabama A&M punches, the Wildcats have counterpunched. And that's a good sign going into the half.
Yes, definitely. But in my opinion, I feel like that's just going to gas out the Wildcats. They always having to fight, crawl back. This is going to tire them out, especially when not be able to get any decent rest throughout this game. So I just hope they'll be able to make a turnaround or stay in the game at least and hope to take the lead.
You see how different the offense is without Onanina on the floor. They're spacing more. They're taking contested threes. It looks like they're scared to go into the paint without David down there. I would trust Daniel Ruzon to get you those same points.
That's why they have Onanina down there right now. His size, the way he plays the game, it helps them so much offensively. But at the same time, he has to get a rest.
Onanina coming back in.
Yeah, definitely. See, they love what they got when he's in the game, and when he's out, it just gets a little stagnant and stale.
B-CU pep band trying to put some pep in the Wildcats step. Martin foul on the floor.
On Onanina.
Nope, it's not. It's on Anyang.
No, he was guarding Onanina.
Oh, yeah.
Onanina was trying to get open.
I thought you scared me for a second. I'm like, they got Onanina for a foul? What?
No. I just seen him. I was watching him just try and get open, fight his way. And that's the physicality they need. Just have someone to fight themselves in the paint to get open. And that's why he had to hook him like that.
Wildcats in the single bonus. Here's a 1-and-1 for Onanina. Off on the first. Worst feeling in basketball, definitely. Missing the front end of a 1-and-1. Every time Alabama A&M rebounds, all their players just sprint down the floor. Full sprint.
They're built to run. They're fresh. Everybody's fresh and ready to take off.
Offensive board for Moody, and he throws it back up and in.
If it's not AC Bryant, it's Moody.
Thomas, full sprint, kick to the corner. Kamara rolls it down from 3.
Definitely needed that at the end of the half, tying the game up. Very much needed to help the Wildcats shape back.
That's a big shot for Khalil Kamara to tie the game at 41. It's a high score and high octane matchup here at Moore Gym at the end of the first half. Big 3 by Khalil Kamara, only the second 3-pointer made of the first half by the Wildcats, but that's as many as they had in the whole game last time out against Alabama State.
And they're still in the game too, so if they find a way to get those shots to end up falling, Mike, it could really turn to their favor because the way Onanita's playing right now, it seems like nobody on the court can stop him.
The Wildcats shoot 45% from the floor in the first half. Alabama A&M 47%. A majority of that from Chad Moody and A.C. Bryant. Moody's got 12, Bryant's got 14. But the program for the Wildcats on defense is simple. You got to shut those two guys down, and you may have yourself a win here.
Yes, definitely, especially with Moody in the paint. He's getting contested, very contested, easy paint touches to get an easy layup over the top. And A.C. Bryant has just been everywhere, man. I've seen him drive to the paint, get a contested mid-range, a contested layup, contested mid-range, contested threes. All his shots are just falling right now. So they got to make him uncomfortable because he's just comfortable right now.
It's the offensive rebounds, too. My big stat from the first half, Wildcats 12 offensive rebounds, Alabama A&M 7 offensive rebounds, but the second chance points are 12-7 in favor of Alabama A&M. The Wildcats are getting those second chance opportunities, but not cashing them in.
Yeah, that comes from taking those, like early on, taking those shots, like them 2 threes that Trey Thomas took after the rebound. Like, once you get the ball, reset, find a good shot, or drive and kick. You know, we can't just get the ball back and waste the opportunity of having the ball back. We need to get the ball back and make plays off getting the ball back for them second chance shots and make the other team play.
And you need to move Moody around, right? You've seen that Onanita has had success when he's gone to the spin move, when he's gotten the ball off inbounds passes, when Moody hasn't been guarding him as tightly. Because if he gets on you, he's blocking that shot.
Yeah, definitely. We already seen 2 massive blocks by Moody early on in this game. And he wasn't even guarding the defender, so he's definitely going to be roaming around that paint, using his big size, that long wingspan, to affect every shot.
We'll take a break for halftime. When we come back, it's the first half stats. We'll go around the SWAC, take a look at the men's basketball scores from this evening, and then we'll have the second half between the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats and the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. Right now, it's 41-all and more Jim as we break for the half. Stay with us. This is Bethune-Cookman basketball on the CatEye Network. Welcome back to more Gymnasium, getting you set for the second half between the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats and the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. The stats look like this for Alabama A&M. A.C. Bryant's got 14, Chad Moody's got 12, and everybody else has got not much. Riley, Ramon, Cologne have 3, Crosby, McGriff, and Way have 2 in, and that's it. It's mostly Bryant and Moody carrying the scoring load. For Bethune-Cookman, there's only one name you need to know, and that's David Onanina. He's got 14, 6 of 7 shooting. He's running it back from the performance we saw on Saturday night. 14 first half points Saturday, 14 first half points tonight. I just hope they don't go completely away from him like they did in that second half on Saturday, TJ.
I definitely agree, Mike. Onanina's game really keeps them in the game, and it slows the game down for them as well. And that also helps them figure things out as well. So I want them to keep giving it to them until they find the answer, you know? Like, this game is going to be a close one. It seems like it's going to be. So I want to keep my best player right now in the game and just keep him to keep doing him and make decisions to win.
The shooting numbers are very close. Alabama A&M, 47% from the field, 5 of 13 from 3. Bethune-Cookman, 45% from the field, 2 of 12 from 3. But the free throws are what's keeping the Wildcats in it. They're 5 of 7 from the line in that opening half. Here are some team stats for you. Wildcats out-rebounding Alabama A&M 24-17 and 12-7 on the offensive glass. But I mentioned before we went to break that second chance points favor the Bulldogs 12-7. Assists, Bethune-Cookman 12, Alabama A&M 10. Both teams have turned the ball over 5 times, but Alabama A&M has 10 points off turnovers to the Wildcats just 6. AAMU has blocked the ball 4 times, the Wildcats just 2. They also have 8 points on the fast break to the Wildcats 6, but the Wildcats do lead in steals 4-2. And it's all well and good to win the turnover battle, get those steals, but you got to get those boards, but you got to cash it in with points.
Yes, definitely. You don't want to just get a steal and not score. You don't want to get the board and not score, especially when you're winning in the rebound category and you're still not leading the second chance or the points off turnovers like that. So they just got to cash in on their opportunities because they're playing hard ball, they're working hard, they're playing defense, they're crashing the glass. They just got to take the opportunities and make those shots.
Both of these teams on pace to shatter their current points per game mark of the season. We're on pace for 82 points. The Bulldogs score a SWAC best 77.1. The Wildcats a SWAC second to last 66 points per game. So the game has definitely been played at the Bulldogs' pace.
Yes, definitely. And I'm actually surprised to see how Bethune is able to keep up with all this fast-paced scoring and the high scoring of Alabama A&M. I thought this would be more of a defensive scoring game, but it seems the Wildcats are able to use Onanina to keep running the score up and let everybody else play off of him.
Let's go quickly around the SWAC. Southern leads Jackson State with 7 minutes to go in the first half, 26-16. Southern looking to remain unbeaten in conference play so far this year. Florida A&M at the end of the first half leads Alabama State 35-40. That is a FAMU team on a heater right now. Remember, they blew out Alabama A&M on Saturday. And the only other game going on tonight, why is Jackson State in here twice? It should be Alcorn State and Grambling State, and that game is later on tonight. Has not started yet. Right here, it's 41-41, Wildcats and Bulldogs. The Wildcats will start with the ball to start half number 2. Kamara and Carlero Martin each have 9 for the Wildcats, so it's all forwards all the time right now for Bethune-Cookman on the offensive end. Trey Thomas with just 6, yet to really get involved in this game. He dumps it off to Kamara for the easy bucket.
Starting off early, slashing the paint.
And if that's the role that Thomas is going to play today, slash and dish, that's probably his best role.
Yes, definitely, because typically he's at the three-point line just floating, trying to force shots. So putting some pressure on the defense, using his speed and versatility will be important.
Ramon for 3, off on the first one. The Bulldogs closed on a heater, hitting 3 of their last 5 threes, and that's a bad pass that's picked off by the Bulldogs into the corner. Here's McGriff for 3, in and out. The Wildcats get lucky on the first two and then almost throw the ball away. Razan does turn it over.
That's back-to-back turnovers and being sloppy on defense.
Wildcats got to calm down here. And this happened far too many times in the first half where they would just try something really risky, heat check threes from almost half court. Got to slow down and play your game.
Definitely.
Moody, dishes, extra pass McGriff. Ramon, shortest guy on the floor at only 5'11". He's taken the long three at the end of the shot clock and missing it.
He has not been scared to shoot all game. Every time he has a little space, he's taking that shot.
Only averaging 6 points a game, Ramon. But again, the leader in the SWAC in free throw percentage at 82%. So if I'm him, I'd try and drive and get to the line.
Definitely, using that small size as a disadvantage for those bigs.
Try a little pick and pop with Daniel Ruzan, and he connects from the elbow.
Daniel Ruzan and Onanita have the same game, but with different signature moves. Daniel Ruzan likes to get that little pull up at the free throw on the block, and Onanita loves to do that post hook.
And even though they got similar body types, it gives you a completely different look defensively.
Definitely. Makes it hard to adjust.
A.C. Bryant on the ball now has got a game-high 14 in the first half. Ramon tried to dump it off and lost the ball. Seneca up to Trey. Thomas the other way, gets the finger roll.
Beautiful
Timeout,
pass.
Bulldogs. It's all Wildcats out of the break on a 7-0 run to start it off.
That's a beautiful pass, and that's a good way to come out the half, even off those 2 turnovers, continue to play defense, continue to drive off the ball and scoring points, and not letting Alabama A&M get comfortable coming out of the second half.
But lest we forget, on Saturday, the Wildcats also did this at the start of the second half. They raced out to a 13-point lead against Alabama State, and then the Hornets came all the way back with a couple of big threes to take the lead late in that game. The Wildcats eventually won it by 3. So, again, game never over, as Coach Theus likes to say. Every team in this conference is going to fight until the clock hits triple zeros. Come be a part of B-CU Athletics and support the CatEye Network. If you or your business is interested in partnering with us here on the CatEye Network, you can reach out to the Wildcats Athletic Communications Department at BCU Sports Info at Cookman.edu. That's BCU Sports Info at Cookman.edu. TJ 6-0 run for the Cats. What have you seen so far?
Just driving to the paint, being a little aggressive on defense. You know, nothing too much, nothing too out of their style, typical style of game coming out of the halftime. Just playing a little bit more defense, and Alabama A&M has just missed some shots as well.
Yeah. Well, and also, the Wildcats lucky to be up by 6 because they have had 2 really bad turnovers on some risky passes, and even the one that Thomas converted right before the timeout was not the best pass. Thomas had to come back for it like a wide receiver on a curl route a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. They want to be careful with the ball, not letting Alabama get the ball and score off those turnovers, because they're already leading with points off turnovers. So you don't want to keep adding to that. Don't let them get nothing easy.
Wildcats, if you're just joining us, playing down 6 players, only a 9-man rotation tonight for BCU. And those 6 players includes their top scorer in Brayon Freeman, their top rebounder in Reggie Ward, and their second guard, Gianni Hunt, which is why you saw a 5-forward lineup at one point in that first half for the Wildcats. We'll probably see it again at some point.
And they play good defense during that formation. You know, they just got to figure out how to get some offense going when they come out with that.
Lots of perimeter motion here. McGriff drives to the free throw line, kicks it back out to Ramon with 5 to shoot. Ramon all the way in, lost the handle. McGriff has to put it up, and he misses everything. Good defensive set for the Cats. Thomas racing up the floor, and will slow it down. Thomas and Willoughby, the 2 guards that are healthy for the Wildcats, both on the floor right now. Martin drains the triple, his second of the night.
That's a way better look than what he took earlier in this game in the first half.
I love that little curl drive, throw it back to the wide open 3-point shooter on the wing. 50-41. Darius Ford misses short. Seneca rips away the rebound and then is really smart to bat it off of Moody and out of bounds so the Wildcats keep possession.
I'm surprised to see I didn't see a foul on that call just now. It was a lot of hand movement, a lot of hand checking just now.
Well,
and Moody has to leave the game right now too. He's walked out the gym.
He did look like he got hit up around the face, which is why I'm surprised there was nothing called there.
Exactly.
He just walked straight back to the locker room, and Coach Otis Hewley is in the referee's face right now, talking probably about that very thing.
Yeah, definitely. I was actually really surprised. I was expecting to see a call.
Are they going to go to the monitor and review it? No, we'll play on. With the Wildcats on a 9-0 run, or correction, a 12-0 run to start this second half. They lead by 9.
They can't get snapped in and slow down. Keep doing what they're doing.
You mean like that?
Definitely like that. Just keep doing what they're doing.
Trey Thomas like lightning to the rim and the foul.
Coast to coast.
That's what happens when you don't stop the ball. I mean, if you've played any sort of basketball or spent any time around a basketball team, I think stop ball is maybe the thing that coaches holler most during the game.
Definitely. You don't want to give no player no easy run to the goal just like that. And 1, 3 points just like that.
And it's been a tough weekend offensively for Trey Thomas, and an easy bucket like that plus the foul, they get him going.
Definitely. They need him to start getting on, too, if they want to really win this game and extend their lead. Because like you said earlier, no team gives up until the clock strikes 0.
A 15-0 run out of the break for Bethune-Cookman. They've got their largest lead of the night. Ford pump fakes, drives, pulls up. Short. The rebound to Thomas. He's running again. Against the 7-footer, CA. Almost gets stripped. And then Ruzon stepped out of bounds. He claims he got pushed. Reggie Theus claims he got pushed. Theus got to be careful he doesn't cross that half-court line and get a technical foul. As we go to the first media timeout of the second half. There is no BC without you. Show your support for Bethune-Cookman Athletics by joining the Wildcat Champions Club today. Help us build a championship culture at Bethune-Cookman. You can donate and join at bcuathletics.com/champions club today. That's bcuathletics.com/champions club. TJ, the Wildcats once again do it with defense. The offense follows and they go on this big run. But it's still sloppy. The outlet passes, the press specifically. How do the Wildcats deal with this Alabama A&M press right now?
Well, they just got to know when to slow up and when to push the ball, you know. Like just now, this last possession, they should have definitely slowed it down. So just knowing the difference between different situations and just being careful with the ball and making smart passes, not throwing a cross-court pass, not throwing the ball all the way from one side to the other, just taking your time and just adjust to the game and how they're playing defense to you.
And if you're an off-ball player, especially if you're playing the 2, like Seneca Willoughby is right now, you've got to show help to the ball. You cannot let your point guard get doubled and then not help and have to throw the ball away.
Especially when you got a 7-foot center up top guarding you, it's really hard to get that pass out. So yes, you want to give him some help and show your face and make that pass easy for him.
He's not as tall as a Taco Fall, but Saliu CA kind of reminds me of Taco body style-wise. He's 7 foot, but he's skinny and really long.
Definitely like Bobo too.
Yeah.
Just being able to dribble the ball, coming up top to the top, guarding them guards. I've seen him guard Trey Thomas a couple times here, so I guess just using that size to make him uncomfortable.
I was talking about Taco Fall because I've been watching some the Australian Basketball League this week, and Taco's playing out there.
There's a lot of them tall 7-footers out there that's very versatile out there now.
53-41, 12-0 run for the Cats to start the second half. Thomas face guarding Riley. CA at the top of the key. Ruzon contested. The putback wasn't there. It's pinball underneath. Crazy caroms, and it's going to be a jumper and give the ball back to Alabama A&M.
It was like a pinball machine down there. Everyone had a chance at the ball.
Saturday night at the arcade.
Oh, a little scuffle going on too in the pile.
Lots of whistles. Both teams benches up. Uh-oh. I think we had a punch thrown. And somebody came off the Wildcats bench, so that's going to be a tech for the Cats.
I think we might see a couple techs out here.
So we could have a long look at this review It looked like an innocuous tie-up, but this could be a long review. I think we had a punch thrown, multiple players being shoved, players coming off the bench, which is not allowed. Oh boy.
And Wildcats, that should be a lot of motivation in their gym. The crowd getting into it, the players getting into it. It will definitely change the momentum of this game right now.
Settle in, TJ. It's time to go podcast mode because we could be here a while.
Definitely. Russ Beverly's about to look at that replay for a while. See who threw the first punch, who threw the first shove, who came off the bench first. It's a lot of stuff they got to look at right now.
Yeah. And again, it started as the seemingly innocuous tie-up, and usually once the whistle blows, you let go of the ball and you keep playing, but nobody wanted to give it up.
Yeah, definitely, especially being at the end of bottom of the piles every once in a while myself. I know a little trash talking, a little poke go on right there, so I know exactly how emotions get, especially in the heat of the game, in a close game like this.
Especially with how physical this game has been, right? Most of it played in the paint, through the centers. Moody, Onanina, Ruzan going at it. There's definitely a little bit of animosity down there.
Yeah, definitely. Mad because you're getting the rebound over me. Mad, especially after hitting Moody in the face earlier too. So there's a lot of bad blood and a little stuff riled up right now with both players. Yeah, both teams are definitely just getting into the hype of the game, getting aggressive, and being very.
Yeah, I just asked our SID Bryce to give me updates on what's going on with the review. We don't have monitors up here to see what the referees are looking at, so we just kind of guess. If you're just joining us, there was a scuffle after a tie-up after a rebound down on the far end of the floor on the right-hand side. I mean, that's about as far away from where we are in this gym as possible, so we couldn't really see what happened. There was a lot of bodies there. Both teams got up off the benches, which is not allowed. I think we had maybe a punch thrown or a shove.
Definitely at least a shove. I definitely seen one player, at least twice, two, 3 times I've seen.
So we could be looking at ejections, technical fouls.
And for the Wildcats, that's not good, especially with already having a low amount of players now.
Yeah,
getting a player thrown out.
Especially if it's one of your key pieces like Thomas or Ruzan. Again, because you don't know. Yeah. You don't know what goes on down there. You'd like to believe that all of your guys are innocent.
And you don't want to lose none of your guys as well. And it's hard, too. Minutes are already limited between both teams. Well, the Wildcats at least.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a chance.
Well, the Wildcats, I think this is bad for the Wildcats, no matter who gets the text, because they were on a 15-0 run. They'd held Alabama A&M scoreless for almost 5 minutes of action. This is their chance to really put the stamp on this ball game, and now all the energy goes out of the building. You got to cool down from being really hot, all your emotions bubbling up to the surface. And now you got to calm down and potentially hit free throws. Alabama A&M is probably going to get some free throws as well to maybe get them going on offense. So this is worst case scenario for Bethune-Cookman.
Yes, definitely. Especially if they lose a player, that'll be worst case scenario. So their mindset right now should just be getting back into the game. No matter what the outcome is, just locking in and focus on what really matters, which is the W when the clock strikes 0.
Both coaches are getting updates from the referees. The referees have some numbers written down on a sheet. We'll see what happens.
The moment of truth.
I was supposed to get updates from our SID Bryce, but my phone, there's too many people in here. My phone's not working, so.
Taking up all the Wi-Fi.
Coach Theus not happy about whatever was just said. These are two of the more experienced coaches in the league, Coach Otis Hewley and Reggie Theus. Hewley in his 3rd year at Alabama A&M, but has been all over the place. He's coached internationally in Nigeria, Spain, China. The crowd is giving it to the officials right now.
They do not like it.
The more maniacs. Our version of the Crammon Crazies.
And they filled up real fast after earlier in the game. Everybody had left the calf.
So Jarrell Love has been ejected. David Onanina has been ejected.
Oh, that's really bad. And he doesn't want to leave. He does not want to leave this game.
Yeah.
He knows how important he is to this team right now. And him leaving is definitely a big factor and a big game changer.
So 2 players for the Wildcats have been ejected. I haven't seen anybody leave for A&M.
They're getting that sorted out right now.
Brayon Freeman off the Wildcats bench has been ejected because he ran onto the floor. Simeon Womack is gone as well for the Wildcats.
Oh my goodness. And he didn't even start the game. He didn't play the game yet.
Nope.
Oh no.
So we have ejections for Alabama A&M. Abdul Rahman is gone. A.C. Bryant is gone.
Hey, that's a game changer for Alabama A&M. A.C. Bryant was leading the team in scoring as well.
But 3 players and a bench player ejected for the Wildcats. 2 players ejected for Alabama A&M. All right, here's the full list. For Bethune-Cookman, Jarrell Love has been ejected, Simeon Womack has been ejected, and David Onanina has been ejected. Onanina is the Wildcats' leading scorer. For Alabama A&M, Bilal Abdur-Rahman has been ejected, A.C. Bryant, their leading scorer, has been ejected, and Clarence Crosby, their 6'9" forward, has been ejected. Crosby had just 2 points in limited minutes tonight.
So now with us seeing Onanina leave the game, Ruzan and Trey Thomas will really have to show their face in this game. With Chad Moody still in the game and still be able to make his impact.
And the ball belongs to Alabama A&M off the tie-up. So this game just got real interesting. The Wildcats, reduced to 9 players at the start of the game, are now down to 7 active players.
Their legs gonna be real tired after this game, Mike.
Oh yeah. Thankful that they have a break until next Saturday. 3 on the shot clock. Darius Ford steps back. Oh, he got fouled, and he'll go to the line for 3.
Sloppy foul, sloppy foul. I know you're trying to close out on the 3-point shot, but you can't get a foul off that and let the shot clock violation, just let the shot clock violation run out.
And now we're gonna have another review.
Maybe they're trying to see maybe if he didn't get the shot off in time before the foul.
It looked like he got the shot off though in real time. This game has ground to a halt. So the Wildcats, let me just mark this down so I remember who has been ejected. Jarrell Love, who only played 5 minutes in that first half, is gone. Simeon Womack off the bench is gone. He was the player that went onto the floor when you're not supposed to leave your bench if you're not a part of the action. He's gone. And crucially, the Wildcats' leading scorer, David Onanina, has been ejected.
Onina's game is definitely what they need to keep running this lead, a matter of fact. If he was in the game, they'd be able to establish themselves in the paint, take their time, let the double teams come. But without that, now it's Daniel Ruzan's job to, establish his presence in the paint to show that he's strong and tough enough to sub in for Onanina.
But both teams lost their leading scorer because A.C. Bryant, who had 14 in that first half, he has been ejected, along with Bilal Abdur-Rahman, who wasn't having the best night. He was 1 for 5 from the floor before he was dismissed, and also Clarence Crosby. So Alabama A&M lost 2 starters out of that. The Wildcats lost 0 starters, with Onanina coming off the bench, but Onanina, of course, the Wildcats' best scorer.
Yeah, definitely. And Alabama A&M losing A.C. Bryant is definitely important, too.
Call on the floor, overturned. Shot clock violation, Wildcat ball. So he did not get the shot away.
Good call, good call.
And a big wipe of the brow from Seneca Willoughby, because he played good defense for 29.99 seconds and then fouled him right at the end, but he did eventually get the shot clock violation.
That's definitely good, because you don't want to give up 3 easy points, especially after having this lead like this and going through those technical and ejections. You want to keep your lead, stabilize yourself, and continue to grow.
The Wildcats have not allowed Alabama A&M to score so far in this second half. A 5-minute and 17-second scoreless streak for the Bulldogs. Thomas almost run to the backcourt, and he was running to the backcourt. Now the student section giving it to the referees. This could get very dangerous.
Yeah, the crowd is definitely getting into this game.
I'm not saying anything like bad is going to happen.
Yeah.
But for the Wildcats, you cannot let your emotions get to you and get any further players sent away from the game.
Definitely. You want to stay locked in and stay true to what really matters.
Martin taps it out of bounds. So nobody was ejected for the altercation that happened on the floor. CA, the 7-footer for three. Nobody closed out to the rebound. Quincy McGriff might have to become the Bulldogs' leading scorer with Bryant out of the game. In the corner, three on the way by Darius Ford is short, but the putback is right there for Chad Moody. So, and that's the first point to the second half for Alabama A&M. Darius Ford takes a tumble behind the play. Every little interaction this crowd is reacting to right now.
They're definitely paying attention to everything that the refs call at this point of the game. And if they don't like it, they will let it be known.
Thomas to Willoughby, extra pass, Ruzan.
Beautiful, beautiful pass. Beautiful ball movement by the Wildcats.
Wildcats their first points after the mess that went on with the ejections. Pick and roll, no, pick and pop. And a three is good for Jalen Colon. Timeout on the floor. As well, here come the Bulldogs. You knew it wasn't gonna be over. Never gonna be over. Wildcats up by 9, 55-46 in the midst of a 21-4 run across the halftime break. But it's not over, just like it wasn't over on Saturday when the Wildcats were up big.
Yeah, definitely. The Wildcats are going to have to find who is their next reliable option to get me buckets. Daniel Onanina was consistently getting you those mid-range hook shots, and no one could seem like they could slow him down. But with him out the game, it's up to Daniel Ruzan and Trey Thomas to consistently find a way, how can I score and keep my team in position to win this game?
Yeah, and I think it's got to be Daniel Ruzan, right? Onanina laid the blueprint of how to attack this defense. Onanina has to now slot into his spot and continue doing that, like we saw on the last Wildcats trip down the floor with the good ball movement. He was wide open for a layup.
Yeah, definitely. Playing together, getting people open, making shots easy. But it's also going to be hard getting in that paint, Mike, when you got Chad Moody in there blocking everything. So getting him out the paint and making him not be able to affect inside shots will definitely play a factor in the way they play their game as well.
So, just an update from the bench. All 6 players that were ejected, Love, Womack, and Onanina for the Wildcats, Bryant, Crosby, and Rahman for the Bulldogs were ejected for leaving the bench. So nothing that happened on the floor contributed to an ejection. Khalil Kamara, no. But the Wildcats are given a gift as CA can't handle the rebound.
7 foot, just bounced right over him.
Yeah. The Wildcats try to immediately answer that three from Colon the last time out. Colon, just a freshman from Aceworth, Georgia, but plays with the Puerto Rican national team. Continuing the international flavor of this A&M squad. Oh, the bank is open for Carolero Martin. He's up to an equal game-high 14.
That's a tough shot by Jesus Carolero Martin.
His season high, Martin, is 17. He could be approaching that tonight.
They do need him, too. Missing players, someone has to step up.
Corner three again, good again. It's Colon, he's got 2 straight threes.
Not getting out of this game, Mike.
Correction, that was Dylan McLean. Thomas, all the way in, rejected by Moody.
That presence in the paint that Moody has.
Leads the league in blocks, does Moody.
Definitely.
37 coming into the night. That was his 5th of the game already.
That presence, he's just always there. He's always making a presence in the paint. Oh,
man, Martin turns it over. It was stripped, and then the Wildcats turn it right back over as Moody got stripped.
As soon as he made a play, he just lost it.
I think both teams right now are just playing really emotional. They're not calm and settled into their offense. They're still reeling from the altercation that took place that got 6 players ejected. It's just very sloppy basketball on both sides right now. with 12 minutes to go.
Especially with this full court press, making them run around. They just can't find the time to calm down.
Thomas off the window. Put back, no, but a foul is called as Khalil Kamara goes crashing to the ground. The Wildcats have 4 players in double figures tonight. Thomas, Kamara, Onanina, and Martine. And this is the kind of performance that you needed from your guys offensively with so few men in the rotation.
Definitely. You need everybody to show up. You need everybody to play their best game. You need everybody to put in something for this game to win. So having the ability to have 4 players in double figures just shows, okay, I have multiple people that are in rhythm in this game right now that I can get the ball and can trust in their shot.
And there's still 12 minutes left. The only one on for a double-double, surprisingly, is Trey Thomas. He's got 8 rebounds.
Again, crashing them boards, getting them second chance points.
Shortest guy on the team had 10 boards on Saturday. He's got 8 tonight.
Hey, little mans need some love too.
Kamara goes to the line. A 68% free throw shooter. Got the first one. Front rim, back rim, and down. Every point critical.
They definitely practiced them free throws this weekend, Mike.
Oh, yeah. I'm blaming you if he misses this one. Which he doesn't. You're off the hook. Wildcat lead back out to 10, 59-49. As the threes have started falling for Alabama A&M, they've hit 2 straight triples. Almost a turnover. McGriff drives inside, lobs it up for McLean, and it's blocked. And the outlet pass finds Thomas. He takes the 3. But again, that's where I'd like to see the Wildcats slow down.
Definitely. No good shot, no drive, no open 3. Just take your time, let everybody get down the court.
Moody. He got fouled on the reach in by Ruzan, and that's the correct call.
Yeah, that time Trey Thomas just settling for a 3 is just not smart. You want to let your players get down the field, catch up, and then, okay, let's take our time, set up our offense, get a good, quality, effective shot.
We go to the under 12 media timeout with the Wildcats up by 10, but Alabama A&M will go to the line for 2. And no correction, they'll just get the ball. No shooting foul when we come back. There is no BC without you. Show your support for Bethune-Cookman Athletics by joining the Wildcat Champions Club today. Help us build a championship culture at Bethune-Cookman. You can donate and join at bcuathletics.com/champions club today. That's bcuathletics.com/champions club. Support the Wildcats like never before. Bethune-Cookman Athletics has partnered with Influxer to bring you officially licensed, co-branded NIL merchandise featuring your favorite players' names and numbers. Proceeds from each purchase directly support Wildcat student athletes. Show your support for your favorite Wildcats today at bcuathletics.com/NIL merch. That's bcuathletics.com/NIL merch. It's been a wild second half, TJ. It feels like we've been here forever, and it's only been 8 minutes. The Wildcats shooting 7 of 11 in this second half, 63%, and have 18 points to Alabama A&M's 8. But the Bulldogs have picked it up. They've hit 3 of their last 4 from the field, 2 of those being threes. And this is how Alabama State got back in the game on Saturday in the second half. They just hit a bunch of threes.
Yeah, definitely. But missing their best player is definitely going to slow down that run that they're going to have. But just the energy and the tempo of the game since coming out of the second half has been totally different compared to that first half.
If I'm Coach Hewley, though, I want to try and pound the ball inside. Because you know now that they're down one of their centers. You want to get the other one in foul trouble.
Definitely. Put them in position and be like, okay, what am I going to do when I have no center on the court?
Them being the Wildcats in this case. As Onanini got ejected, so it's just Ruzan. Moody with a head of steam, lays it in. He's got to be the guy, Chad Moody.
Definitely. Doing it on offense, doing it on defense, just making his presence definitely known with all the minutes that he gets.
A game-high 16 for Chad Moody. Rolling to the cup is Ruzan. On a mismatch, and he jams it with authority.
Posterizer. Didn't even see him in there.
That's the 6'9" Ruzan against the 6'2" Cologne. That's not a matchup you want to be in.
Definitely not. Definitely made his size known in the paint just now with Moody not there to affect it.
And then another foul on Ruzan. That's 2 quick ones on Daniel for displacing Chad Moody.
Keeping Moody out the paint the way they just did to get that easy dunk is what they're going to continue to have to do to run up this score.
3 fouls on each team so far. Shockingly, there were no techs and no fouls called in that scrum earlier.
That is true. I was expecting a tech and some free throws, especially with all the shoving that we saw.
Cats by 10. Darius Ford, the TCU transfer. Moody at the top. They have Martin switched on to him now. Ford takes a 3, hits a 3. My goodness. This is like that period in the first half where Alabama A&M just couldn't miss.
Yeah, they're definitely just shooting a 3 with confidence and getting good looks.
Thomas against the taller McGriff gets fouled, and he'll go to the line. I believe the foul's going to go on Say. It is Say.
Yeah, just keep attacking the rim, getting some easy free throws to run this score up.
It's one of those situations, though, where you kind of wish you had, like, the soccer continuation, where if there's a foul, but you still have an advantage, you can keep playing.
Yeah,
because Ruzon was wide open for a layup.
Easy layup, too. Definitely would have wanted that.
And it's not a shooting foul, either.
Oh, yeah, because he was in the middle of passing
the ball.
Uh-huh.
So the Wildcats get 2 points taken off the board right there. The lead is just 7. It's been as many as 12 in the second half.
Getting a good shot off this inbound pass will be definitely crucial.
Inbounding for the Wildcats has been pretty scary tonight. They have a couple of turnovers off of inbounds. Thomas gets the ball. Martin, back to Thomas. Willoughby, straight on triple. Short. Rebound Martin. Ruzon going to work. Back out Thomas. His three-pointer off the heel. Oh! It almost went in, and Kamara was ready for the putback dunk, but the ball just bounced away from him.
It just was playing mind games with him.
Sometimes you're just unlucky.
Definitely. Because he was right there waiting to finish it, but he thought it was going to go in.
Wildcats cold, just one of their last 6 from the floor. Another 3 from Ford. Oh, it went in!
Ford has been shooting the ball with confidence.
He's only played 8 minutes, and he's hit both of his shots, both of those threes, and it's a 4-point game. Willoughby traps. Wildcats having trouble breaking that trap at the half-court stripe. The Wildcats have really slowed this game down now on offense.
Definitely. And Ford has came in and gave the Alabama A&M some life.
But Thomas sparks the Wildcats. Khalil Kamara steals the inbounds pass. Nobody knew about it for the Wildcats. They're all racing down the floor. Thomas, the blow-by, the rejection by Moody.
Just
his
everywhere.
6th block of the game.
Ford again.
Throws it to Moody. Bucket in the foul.
Moody really making it hard for the Wildcats to break away with his shot blocking and his ability to get inside the paint and get and ones or easy layups.
Chad Moody up to 18. His season high is 21. He's approaching those kind of numbers.
And Darius Ford really sparked the life as well with his team with the 2 threes to change the course of the game.
Darius Ford is a fantastic story. He was homeless for a while growing up. His family moved around a lot. But he got into TCU on a community scholarship, walked onto the basketball team, does a lot of community outreach, gives back to his native community in Fort Worth where he grew up and helps a lot of underprivileged youth. And for him, it's not all about basketball. He played 4 years at TCU, didn't really see the floor that much, and now has come to Alabama A&M for a graduate year.
Yeah, definitely. Good to see a guy knowing how to give back to the community and open his reach outside of just basketball.
Moody does it with the steal, too. Ball loose on the ground. Here's another tie-up. And the referee is right there to break him up after that tie-up. The Wildcats will keep possession.
They don't want a rerun of earlier.
It's a 3-point game. The Wildcats have led by as many as 12, but a 9-2 run over the last 2:34. Sparked by the 3 ball. Ford's hit 2, Cologne's hit 2, all in this second half. Again, the Wildcats have struggled against the 3 this weekend. They gave up 7 threes in the second half against Alabama State, 10 overall. They've given up 9 so far tonight.
Yeah, they're getting a little sloppy with the ball, too, and just not applying as much pressure on defense as they need to. And Alabama's just taking advantage of everything that they give them and sparking a comeback, like Coach Diaz says. They're not giving up.
Trey Thomas goes to the bench to get him some rest, and it's the walk-on Trayvon Barbary on the floor right now. He played for this team 2 years ago as a walk-on freshman, never saw the floor out of DeLand High School, and was brought back this week because the Wildcats lack bodies. We didn't think he'd get in the game, but here he is.
After the few ejections,
yeah,
definitely.
The Wildcats in panic mode. There ain't nobody on the bench anymore.
Nobody. They're down.
I think Trey Thomas is the only guy on the bench.
Yeah, they're down to their last man, really. So it's going to be down to these last 6 players to shape up this game and hope to bring the Wildcats a win.
What did we talk about at the beginning, TJ? Will the Wildcats have the legs with so few bodies to run with Alabama A&M late?
And this full court press is going to really tire them out, too.
Ruzon got hit in the face. And he'll go to the free throw line. And Trey Thomas was on the bench for all of 30 seconds, and he's coming right back in.
Just get his feet some rest and get right back out there.
But good for Barbary, man. I mean, he's been around, walked on to the basketball team his freshman year, didn't make the team again last year, chose to stick around, continue his education here at B-CU, stay ready, stay in shape, and when the Wildcats needed him, they needed a body, he was ready.
Yeah, they definitely still might need a body, too. There's a lot of players out here that's getting a lot of minutes and may need a break, so he needs to be prepared to do something in his game to make a mark, as Seneca's coming out instead.
Yeah. Carolero, 29 minutes. Kamara, 29 minutes. Willoughby, 29 minutes. Thomas, 26 minutes. Ruzon, 23.
So Barbary going to have to definitely do something in this game to make a mark or just to show his appearance because they really need him to show up here.
Ruzon, one or two from the free throw line. The lead is back to 4 for the Cats. 8 minutes to go. Still a lot of story to be written in this basketball game. And a steal. Here's Kamara against the 7-footer. Misses. Scramble for the ball. Still loose. A&M ball, last touched by Ruzon. Another turnover for the Wildcats. They're 12th.
The ball has been passed around, just hitting people like a ping pong. Just here, there, left, right, hands here, body, legs here. Just turning the ball over, bouncing the ball everywhere. It's a lot going on in this game.
All the momentum favoring Alabama A&M right now. They're 7 of their last 8 from the floor. The Wildcats, 1 of their last 5.
Need some offense.
Darius Ford, the man of the moment. He misses, though. That's his first miss of the game. Young, well, he's not that young. He's a graduate student. Younger than me. Young man having the confidence to keep pulling it up. The Wildcats have been frustrated offensively by this harsh on-ball defense for Alabama A&M. Thomas lets the defender blow by him and misses that one badly.
Not a good shot choice, Mike. He had 2 people behind him for open shots. He could have just dished it out.
This game's got to have to be won on the defensive side by the Wildcats.
Yes, definitely. After losing Onanina, they have no force on the inside to consistently get them points, and Daniel Ruzon has not been as aggressive as we thought he should be.
Here's McClain. All the way in, falling over CA, no call.
Slow it down.
Thomas with Ford draped all over him. Thomas goes in, hands off Kamara, he'll reset. Kamara, you know, can lace it from downtown. He'll just go in, and a reach-in foul called against Trayvon Barbary. Big applause from the Wildcat bench for Trayvon Barbary every time he touches the ball.
Definitely, especially having the trust to give it into a player like that doesn't typically play.
Well, he hasn't even been a part of the team all season.
Exactly. So being able to have the trust to give him that entry pass just shows volumes of how much this Wildcat team knows how to work together.
Both teams cold, scoreless over the last 2 minutes. Both teams 64-60 Wildcats. This gym doesn't do blowouts.
Yeah, definitely not. It's always, it's either a close game or no game, you know what I'm saying? So I just love how the Wildcats are in it. They're fighting, not having none of their players, losing some players mid-game. They're really fighting and showing grit, so I'm really proud of them no matter what happens in this game.
thank all of you for tuning in tonight on the CatEye Network on YouTube. We've really loved being back in Moore Gymnasium, bringing you Wildcat basketball this season. 5 more home games after tonight. That's it, just 5 more.
How many total games left in the season, Mike?
9 games left after tonight.
Okay. So, well, the Wildcats are so far undefeated at home. So going into that 9 games, having 5 home games, it should put them in really good position to feel confident about how they feel about the rest of the season going.
Yeah. And the Wildcats, if they can just hold serve at home with all these injuries, right, down to 6 players on the active right now, it gives them time for other players to come back from injury. We don't know what the status is of Ward and Freeman and Hunt. We don't know what their status is. So if they can get any of those guys back, it'll be huge. And unfortunately, they may have to rush some of those guys back just so they get bodies.
Yeah, definitely, especially this week that they have to rest up after a strong, stressful weekend. They're going to really need to rest and ice up this break and get ready for next week.
Thomas is back in the game, replacing Barbary. Martine with the tough catch. And the Wildcats will reset. 6:52 to go, 4-point lead for Bethune-Cookman.
Ruzan and Moody getting into it down on the block.
Deep 3, Martine! Cash money! He missed one from a similar spot earlier. He knocked that one down from deep.
And they need him to, Mike. They need someone to help score them points and keep this lead up while
He's tied his season high at 17 with that shot.
They're playing tough defense right now, so they need to keep doing that and score points and get free throws as well. Drive to the paint.
McLean pull-up jumper. Oh, man, they're getting all of these rolls, Alabama A&M.
Shooter's touch.
They're getting the home rolls right now. Don't they know they're on the road? Come on, Rims. 67-62. Willoughby, who still doesn't have a point tonight. Martine, back off to down low Martine. He got fouled by the reach by McLean. No Moody in the game right now for Alabama A&M's, and as long as he's out.
Oh, he's right there.
Oh, he's right there. Sorry.
He's grimacing.
He's holding his shoulder. I didn't see anything happen on that play. But remember, he got hit upside the head accidentally as he was falling out of the bounds back at the end of the first half, and went back to the locker room for a time. So you wonder if something is lingering from that.
He's going in the back right now, Mike. And that's not good for Alabama A&M, needing someone to consistently score for them, losing their 2 best players on their team. Now someone really has to step up for Alabama A&M if they want to come back and win this game.
But again, Alabama A&M always has somebody right there to step up. In steps A.G. Anyang, the 6'9" sophomore out of Adelaide, Australia. Has been in the States for 3 years now, played at Barton Community College and then Ottawa University at the NAIA last year, was KCAC, that's the Kansas Junior College Conference, Freshman of the Year. Just talent up and down this 21-man roster for Alabama A&M, and they've needed them tonight.
Definitely.
Here's London Wiley.
But who's going to do the scoring for them, though, Mike?
McLean's been attacking. McLean! Oh, a foul called by Ruzan.
I don't like that call, Mike. So losing the ball in the air is not the defender's fault.
That's the 3rd foul on Ruzan. The Wildcats aren't happy with it. Coach Theus isn't happy with it. They say it's in the act of shooting as well, so it'll send McLean to the line. McLean, the senior out of Brooklyn, New York, but finished high school ball in Atlanta at Heritage High School. Then he's played freshman year at Northern Oklahoma, and in the last couple of years at Bishop State Community College. You see it so much of the SWAC, right? The NAIAs, community college, NCCAA, all the top talent in those leagues, they're still good. They're still top talent for a reason.
Yeah, they got to just work their way up, too, and just get that practice and get used to the college level.
69-64. Where are the Wildcats going to get their scoring from? Carolero has been the man, 17 points. Everybody on the Wildcats gassed right now, playing over 30 minutes. Willoughby the dish, Thomas the tray. Oh yeah!
That's shots I love to see. Wide open three-point shots for Trey Thomas.
Responding in kind is Cologne. He misses off the heel. Thomas goes to ground with it. Lost the ball, picked up. McLean, the runner, no. Carolero taps it to Thomas down the floor. Ruzon's there. Bucket on the foul for Daniel Ruzon. How about the heads-up play by Thomas?
Definitely a beautiful pass. Definitely a beautiful finish by Ruzon. The Wildcats are definitely getting into their zone right now, extending this lead.
Up to a 10-point game. Seneca Willoughby had his shoes untied that whole defensive possession and still didn't give up a point.
Hey, you still got to do what you got to do.
Of all the wild things that have happened in this gym since I've been commentating B-CU basketball the past 4 years, this may be one of the wilder games. And I include that with the Southern game last year that went to double overtime.
Oh, double?
Double.
I didn't know about that game.
And the Wildcats got a steal and 3 to snipe it at the end.
That's beautiful. Hey,
that is the #1 craziest game I've called here. But this one is right up there with the short bench for the Wildcats, the ejections.
The fighting, the pushing, the shoving, the hurt players, you know, just grimacing, fighting through, gritting through. Close game at the end, but the Wildcats are starting to find their groove and extend the league some more and just maintain their distance just to survive this Alabama A&M team.
5 players for the Wildcats have played over 30 minutes tonight.
Like I said, the ice baths will be crucial after this game.
Oh, yeah. And they're going to be glad they got a 6-day layoff until the next game.
For sure. And that's good. Let them players get healthy as well so they can come back fresh.
Yeah. Carolero, Thomas, Kamara, Ruzon, and Willoughby have all played over 30 minutes.
Man. That's a lot of minutes in a game of basketball when it's this tough.
Meanwhile, the only player that's played more than 25 minutes for Alabama A&M is Quincy McGriff.
Quincy McGriff? That's crazy. I would assume Chad Moody would have played the most minutes.
Because he got that injury at the end of the first half. He was out, and then now he's out again.
Yeah,
he's played 25 minutes, but he probably would have played 30 if he was healthy. We don't know what the situation is with Chad Moody right now. A.G. Enyang is in at the 5 for the Wildcats. We've got an and-1 situation here for Daniel Ruzon after the timeout, after he went down the floor and got an and-1 called against Jalen Colon, the Puerto Rican international.
And we're starting to see why A.C. Bryant and Chad Moody really matter to this Alabama A&M team, because as soon as A.C. Bryant went down, the offense started to go down. Chad Moody started to get involved, but then he went down. Now this Alabama offense look kind of stagnant, and no one's really making shots or making plays to change the momentum of this game.
They've had to rely on guys like McGriff, Colon, McLean, who haven't really been relied on most of the season. Here's Anyang, back out forward. He's been lacing it. He's the one guy still on the floor that's been doing great for Alabama A&M, Darius Ford. He hits his 3rd 3 of the second half. Timeout on the floor. The lead cut back to 7 with 4:32 to go.
Down but not out, Alabama A&M.
Never out when you got 3-point shooters like that.
Definitely. And he seems hot too.
Yeah, and muddying the waters even more for Alabama A&M. One of their best players, Lorenzo Downey, is hurt, didn't even play today. Didn't play on Saturday either against Florida A&M. Downey was averaging 22 minutes a game, 7.3 points. But another really big guy, 6'5", but listed as a guard, could probably play positions 1 through 4. You miss a guy like that in a game like this.
Definitely, especially losing your 2 best players now. In the midst of the end of this game, you need someone that you typically can rely on, but that's not accessible to you right now. So you have to go to your bench, dig deep, and find a next scorer that's going to come, and it looks like Darius Ford. So I look to see how they'll try to keep setting him up and using him to get other people open for open opportunities.
With the Wildcats so gassed, the 5 they've got on the floor is basically all they've got left. I mean, you've got Marbury, but he played 2 minutes, and they don't really trust him, having not been with the team all season. What do you do here if you're Coach Diaz? I think you need to continue to slow the game down.
Yeah, if you want to slow the game down, you want to make it hard for Alabama to come back in this game. You want to go by your tempo, go by how you want to run plays, and let the shot clock go down and wait. You want to run the clock. Running the clock is key for this game. You want to get your boys out of here. You don't want no more injuries. You don't want no more mishaps to happen. So just run your plays, take your time, and just hope for the best and keep scoring. You definitely got to keep scoring.
It is 75-67 here at Moore Gym. Another barn burner finish coming here from one of the cathedrals of HBCU basketball. This gym that was opened in 1953. Thomas already has 1-3. Can he get another one? No. But Kamara is there for the rebound.
Good boy. Now take your time. Take your time. You ran shot clock, got the shot, reset the shot clock. Just take your time.
17 offensive rebounds for the Wildcats tonight. Skip pass. Martin, tough catch. Kamara for three. Off the backboard, but tapped out of bounds by Anyang as we've got our final media timeout of the evening. And you can see one of the assistant coaches for Alabama A&M yelling at Anyang, box, box, don't bat at it, which is what he did, and he knocked it out of bounds. The Wildcats will get a third chance on this possession. You got to cash these in.
Yeah, with Alabama A&M, you want to get the ball back. You want to score fast to get back in this game. If you're BCU, you want to take your time, get good, clean, open shots, and do not turn the ball over, because that could lead to fast break points, and that'll give momentum back to Alabama A&M as well.
If you're just joining us, the Wildcats started this game with 9 active players. Both teams that had 3 players ejected during an altercation at the beginning of the second half. For the Wildcats, Love, Womack, and Onanina, who was their top scorer at the time, got ejected. For Alabama A&M, Abdur Rahman, Crosby, and Bryant, who was their top scorer at the time, got ejected as well. That really changed the outlook of this game for both teams.
Yes, because AC Bryant was definitely getting the looks he needed. He was making wide open shots, shooting very effective from the floor. So losing your best scorer, you had to turn to your second best scorer, who is now not an option. So it's really not tilting in Alabama's favor right now this game.
And their second best scorer, of course, Chad Moody, who's got 19 points tonight, but he came up holding his shoulder after a rebound a couple of minutes ago. He has not returned. And the Wildcats, I think, have tried to take advantage of them, trying to go into the paint with Daniel Ruzon, and even Martin getting down there a little bit.
Yes, definitely. They're definitely trying to use their size against these smaller Alabama A&M players, losing Chad Moody, who is the best shot blocker in SWAC basketball. So just get into the paint, using that bad chances from Alabama A&M and using that to their advantage.
Here we go. Wildcats with a third chance on this possession. An offensive rebound and then a team rebound as the ball went off of Anyang. Kamara to trigger it, and he turned it over. Aaron Smith up the floor. He throws it to Colon. Back out forward. In the corner, wide open three. No good. Martin with a big rebound. Every rebound crucial at this stage of the game.
And taking your time.
Capacity crowd here at Moore Gym holds its collective breath. Daniel Ruzon spins, attacks, and scores.
What a move.
That's the Onanina-esque spin move.
Picked up some from his brother.
Lead back out to 10. 3:15 to go. Ford, the hot hand at the moment for Alabama A&M. A foul is called against Seneca as he reached in on Darius Ford.
Darius Ford has really been the centerpiece of this Alabama A&M offense so far.
He's got 9 all in the second half on 3 of 6 from beyond the arc.
Running through him.
And that's the last foul the Wildcats can give up before going into the bonus. Both teams in the single bonus now the rest of the way. Coach Hewley is hot at Aaron Smith over there on the sidelines, who's just checked out for the Bulldogs. Alabama A&M just one of their last 4 from the field. Here's Ford. Can he be big, the transfer from TCU? He takes a deep straight on three. Misses it off to the right. Martin, another rebound. He's got a double-double now, 17 and 10.
Everybody doing it all today. Lack of players, just making your mark everywhere on the court.
Thomas, one rebound from a double-double as well. It would be his second in as many games.
That'll be three players with a double-double with that, Mike.
Thomas pulls up, cashes it, and the foul on Ford as well. Trey Thomas, he's hit some massive shots down the stretch in the second half.
Yeah, the Wildcats are starting to figure it out, starting to extend this lead, starting to blow the air out of Alabama's tire out, and they're just looking kind of stumbled right now, losing without their best players on the court.
How about Jesus Carolero Martin? He's 7 of 9 from the field and 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. How about efficiency from the big man?
Definitely coming out to play today, knowing that his players are down. He's really stepping up today. The Swiss Army knife, coming in doing everything you need where it comes offense, defense, or rebounds.
Coach Theus calls a timeout. He's going to be aggressive in using these timeouts down the stretch just to get his players a chance to rest.
Yes, definitely.
The 5 on the floor are the 5 they've got to work with. Thomas, Martin, Ruzan, Kamara, and Willoughby.
And pretty much the only 5 they have.
Yeah,
so
the only player they've got left other than that is Trayvon Barber, who's played 2 minutes off the bench. Not really an option. But these 5 guys, along with, really you got to put Onanina in there because he kept us afloat in the first half when everything that Alabama A&M was throwing up was falling. They shot 47% in the first half, the Bulldogs. But Onanina, his second straight game with 14 first-half points, and he probably would have gotten a whole lot more if he hadn't been tossed.
Yes, definitely. He was definitely showing his physicality, going bucket for bucket with Moody, or just being as physical as Moody in the paint. And just Onanina's presence in there just gives the Wildcats comfortability knowing, okay, I can't get a shot, let me dump it off to my big. He has a nice little post hook shot, and he's hot, he's open. So it's like, now that that's gone, they're now starting to figure out what they could do next to work as a team to win with only having 5 guys.
My favorite David Onanina stat is on the weekend over 2 games. He's 11 of 13 from the floor. He missed 2 shots in 2 games.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That just goes to show how comfortable and how easy he gets to his spot on the court.
The Wildcats lead is 80-67, their largest of the night. They've held Alabama A&M scoreless the last 156. The Bulldogs just 1 of their last 5 from the floor, but again, with the 3-point shooting that Darius Ford has given them, it's never over.
Yes, definitely. 3-point shooting can really get you back in the game. All you need is, in this game, all you need is 2 to 3 3-point shots without letting the Wildcats score, and you're right back in it. So the Wildcats need to keep scoring, playing tight defense, and not let this game, not let the Alabama A&M come back.
2.5 left. London Riley's been quiet tonight. Here's CA, the Senegalese player, and a foul's going to be called on Thomas, and that will send the Bulldogs to the line. I understand being aggressive, wanting to get the steal, but at that point, you got to know that the next foul puts him in the bonus, and don't be too aggressive.
Yeah, definitely. I love the aggressiveness, but yeah, just knowing that they're going to shoot free throws off of that, I just wouldn't chance it like that, especially not knowing if I'm going to get it or not.
It'll be a 1-and-1 for the Puerto Rican international, Jalen Colon. He was a crazy good high school player, Colon, a 2-time state champion at Kell High School. His class owns the most wins in Kell history, and Colon owns the KHS record for threes in a game with 12. So he's someone who can get en fuego from deep really quickly.
And he's only a freshman too, so he's going to be here for a while, or wherever he goes, he's going to play some good basketball.
Yeah. Especially getting that national team experience in the offseason as well, playing FIBA events.
That culture, just being around people that know how to win, being in events like that, just helps you not be scared when big moments like that come later on in your life.
It'll be a 1-and-1 for Colon. Got the first one. This is his first trip to the line tonight, and if I'm reading my stats right, his first trip to the line on the season.
Well, if he makes both, he's going to have a 100% free throw shot.
But he's 50%. And guess what? Another rebound for the Spaniard, Carolero Martin. Wildcats trying to drain some time through the hourglass here. At the end of a long weekend of basketball, the Wildcats trying to go 3 out of 4 on home court this weekend. Coach Theus is hot at Seneca because he was out of position for whatever set the Wildcats want to run. 7 on the clock. Thomas double team, turns the ball over.
Went a little too much.
Well, Willoughby was out of position. He had no place to pass the ball. Riley. And a foul going to be called as Martin went over the top. Checking the foul trouble for the Wildcats. Nobody with more than 3. Ruzon's got 3. Thomas has 2. Martin has 2. Willoughby also has 3. Those are a little concerning at this point, but the threes with 1:44 left. Because remember, you only got one guy on the bench, and it's a guy that has played 2 minutes all season.
They definitely don't want to play too aggressive and get players fouled out early when there's not that much time left in the game. So if you don't have enough players to play, would the game be disqualified?
No, you can play with 4, I believe. This is pushing my basketball knowledge beyond its limits, but if you get down to 3, I think you have to forfeit.
So yeah, they want to be careful later on in the game.
Do not quote me on that, audience, because I really don't know. That's just my bad.
I feel like I've seen a team play with 4 before.
I have definitely seen a team play with 4 before. 2 free throws knocked down by London Riley, and it's back to a 10-point game with 1:44 left. And here comes the full court press from Alabama A&M. The Wildcats have turned the ball over 13 times today, leading to 13 points off turnovers for Bama A&M. You gotta keep control of the ball here. Thankfully, Trey Thomas is wide open.
Yeah, definitely. They gotta get the ball open, maintain possession, don't get too nervous.
Yeah, and you gotta keep moving it too, because you get shots like that by Khalil Kamara. Kamara could have dumped it off to Ruzon, but he says, I'm going at this myself.
It looked like he was going for the poster.
Oh yeah, he's already got one tonight.
Trying to go for another.
This is not a big dunking team, the Wildcats. I mean, in years past, we've had, Robertson, who's got some big dunks. Jacoby Hetty last year had some really high flyers. Don't have a lot of those guys on the team this year. With Onanina and Ruzon, your 2 5-men, more post-up kind of guys, not really attacking the basket.
Not really drive and jump up and just dunk on somebody.
No. Really, Khalil Kamara is the closest guy they've got to that. And he'd rather take an outside shot. He's a good 3-point shooter, Khalil.
Dunks like that really get the gym up right there, Mike.
In the game, to start conference play against Florida A&M, Kamara hit 3 threes in that one, all in the second half.
Beautiful start. That's a beautiful start to start off the season.
Darius Ford still talking to his teammates, still trying to keep him engaged here. As Kamara drains 2 free throws, another timeout for Reggie.
Keeping his players fresh.
The scoreboard says 2 timeouts left for the Wildcats, none for Alabama A&M. I don't think that's correct.
Yeah, because Reggie Theus has been using these timeouts all game, trying to give his players rest. So I don't believe that's correct either, though,
No,
Mike.
I think that the Wildcats have no timeouts left and the Bulldogs have 1. So it's flipped the scoreboard. But again, 12-point game, 1:35 left. If you're the Bulldogs, you got to start chucking threes and getting steals.
Yeah, you definitely have to. What, the Bulldogs?
Yeah, the Bulldogs.
Oh, yeah. You definitely have to get steals, chuck the threes down, and just hope they fall, because right now you're in a very sticky situation, and the Wildcats just need to take their time and just let the clock run.
Yeah. For the second time in as many games, the Wildcats have given up 10 threes to their opposition. The Hornets hit 10 on Saturday. The Bulldogs have 10 tonight. 3 by Ford, 2 by Bryant, 2 by Cologne, 1 each by McLean, Riley, and Raheem. But what a win this would be for Bethune-Cookman. Down to 9 at the start of the game, now 6 players at the end of it, protecting home court. With all of those injuries, they would be 4th place in the conference.
Yeah, that's good, especially after a wild game like this, not having everybody here to attend, losing some players while in attendance. This has definitely been a mental roadblock, this game, and a mental roller coaster, but the Wildcats have battled through that and come back and shaken up this game and took the lead.
Darius Ford's been the hot hand of the second half for the Bulldogs ever since A.C. Bryant left the game. Here's Wei, the Taiwanese international, hasn't seen the floor much of the second half. 3-pointer, bang, for Jalen Cologne. What did I say? hit threes and get steals.
Exactly. So they're going to come back and run this full court again and try and press the Wildcats to making a turnover, and they got to come back and make more threes.
Thomas with 4 to get across. He does. Double team, finds Martin. How good has Jesus Carolero Martin been tonight? Excellent. 19 points, 11 rebounds.
He's been everywhere with a couple steals.
Thomas, he'll go to the line to eclipse 20 for the 5th time this season. He had a season-high 31 against Pine Bluff in the last homestand 2 weeks ago on Monday.
Yeah, I remember that game. He was a sniper from the free throw line in.
12 of 12 from the charity stripe in that game. Completely different story last night where he went 8 of 14. But tonight the Wildcats have redeemed themselves from the line. 15 of 18 so far tonight.
I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Diaz made them run for that. All them missed free throws.
Run and then do a lot of free throws yesterday in practice.
For sure. We're not leaving the gym till we make 100.
Trey Thomas gets both that time. Restores the 11-point advantage, 60 ticks to go. Down the floor goes Colon. He hit the 3 the last time down. Ford's got 3 in the second half. He goes all the way in. He misses the layup, though. Tough shot for Darius Ford. And then a foul by Way will send Thomas back to the free throw line. Thomas, he was 1 rebound shy of another double-double, 21 and 9. He had his first career double-double on Saturday, Trey Thomas, when he had 19 and 10. But a dub-dub for Martin, 17 and 11 tonight. 17 points on 7 of 9 from the field, Martin. Ridiculously efficient.
Yes, that's just knowing to take good shots, open shots, and just trusting yourself to make those shots as well.
And he's another one of those guys, been around the game forever. Been playing organized basketball, and he's going to come out to a big ovation from the teammates on the bench.
Definitely played a wonderful game today. Stepped up when they needed him most.
But Martin's been playing since he was a little kid. Big 3, deep 3, off the heel and out of bounds over top of the backboard. But am I trying to get this point across? You know, he's been playing in the Malaga basketball system his whole life, eventually playing for the senior team in professional ball in 2017. And he came to the States, 4 years at Campbell, 1 year at Missouri, and now finishing it off here at Bethune-Cookman. He's that wily veteran, and I spoke to him after the Florida A&M game a couple weeks ago, and I asked him, like, what does he bring to the team? And he says, that veteran presence, I've been there, I've done that, I've seen it all. I can really kind of calm some of these younger guys down, and he did a good job of that tonight, especially after the 3 players got ejected. Yeah,
definitely, especially this game, too, him stepping up. And last game, too, you know, him having a pretty good game last time, too. So just that leadership, that mentality, keeping yourselves in the game, not giving up, and always fighting.
Well, the Wildcats look like they're going to get out of it with a score that does not really tell you how crazy this game was for a long time. It was tied at 41 at the break.
It was definitely a close one all game. It definitely kept me on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, but the Wildcats have done a good job in this second half.
And they came out
I don't
strong.
have the numbers in front of me, but I'd love to look at what the scoring has been ever since A.C. Bryant was ejected. Because I think the Wildcats, that was really what sparked them to go on that big run and really put this game out of reach.
Yes, definitely. That Alabama A&M lost their main scorer, the person that's who can I get a bucket to that's going to help me get in this game? AC. Well, with him not being there and Moody being gone, it really affected what the coach had with options on the game.
Foul's going to be called on Warren Ye. And it's going to send Seneca Willoughby to the line to attempt to get on the scoreboard. He only took 1 shot tonight, Seneca, but 5 rebounds, 12 assists, 2 steals. He's done everything else but score tonight.
Hey, because all his other teammates picked up the scoring and he picked up everything else.
23 assists for the Wildcats. This is a team that came into the week averaging under 10 assists per game. They've got 23 tonight. They had 17 on Saturday. Really focusing on sharing the ball, and they've got some really easy buckets tonight because of their good passing.
Yes, definitely. Just dribbling the ball around, waiting for your best player to make a ball, and then getting it off that, it's never going to work. You need everybody to touch the ball, everyone to get comfortable.
Oh, what the rejection. Oh, but a foul. Daniel Ruzon wanted one more exclamation point and it's going to be foul called on Ruzon. I thought they might have gotten Barbary for that, but it's going to go on Ruzon. That's his 4th foul, which is interesting because if he gets another one, Carlero's going to have to come back in because he's the only guy on the bench.
Or they can just run 4-man, you know, with the game being only 30 seconds left in the game.
I don't think Theus would do that. Darius Ford, we talked about his story about, you know, his serving underprivileged youth in the Fort Worth area. He kind of rose up from nothing, got a scholarship to college on his own merits, and didn't play for his 4 years at TCU, but now getting a real big chance to play. And he showed out tonight. He has 10 all in the second half as Trey Thomas fouled again. And the Bulldogs hearing it from the B-CU pep band over there.
Even the band getting into it.
Listen, the band gets into it more than some of the other students do.
And they're out there chanting.
It'll be a tough road weekend for Alabama A&M. They lose to Florida A&M 95-79, and now they're going to fall to Bethune-Cookman, with the final score being somewhere in the range of 90-78.
And actually, this is actually surprising too, because Alabama A&M scores 77 points a game, and Cookman only averages 66, and they have 88 right now. So they did more, even though they had less.
But again, the Bulldogs play this really fast, up-tempo style, run, and that leads to a lot of high-scoring games. And also, yes, they score 77 points a game, but they give up. So they score 77, but they also give up 77, which is 10th in the SWAC. So Ford with a circus shot, no good. Rebound Ruzon, no fouls, shot clock off, and Trey Thomas is going to run it out to the adoration of the Moore Gym crowd. He's going to style on Ford a little bit with the between the legs dribble. Going to give the ball to Trayvon Barbary. The crowd wants Barbary to put it up. He won't do it. This one belongs to the maroon and gold. The men's basketball team sweeps the weekend here at Moore Gym, and they improved their record to 6-3 in conference play with all the injuries down to 6 active players. What heart from this Bethune-Cookman team.
Yeah, what grit, what grind, not having all the pieces available to them, not having everything they have, and just still figuring out ways to win no matter what it took, and no matter what hardships they went through, whether it's begin the game, in the middle of the game, or at the end of the game.
But it's going to serve you well, too, right? When those players do start to come back. We're hoping to get Freeman back and Ward back in the next couple of weeks. When those players do start to return, all you've done is just boost the confidence of everybody else by winning games with those bench guys on the floor. You talk about guys like Willoughby, like Onanina, like Kamara, who've all played massive minutes this weekend. It just boosts their confidence.
Yeah, it definitely boosts their confidence, boosts their way to work together as a team. Because like you said, 23 assists is not something they typically do. So it starts to show how much they're starting to truly believe in themselves and sharing the ball and starting to realize, I believe in you, I believe in your shot, I can believe you're going to give me back the ball if I need to. So I just love the teamwork and the way this team is just growing together.
Let's go through the final scoring totals as the B-CU band plays out the alma mater here at the end. For Alabama A&M, Chad Moody had 19 points in 25 minutes, but missed the last 10 or so minutes. We think a shoulder injury knocked him out of the rest of the game. Tough for Moody and Bryant, who both left the game. Moody because of an injury, Bryant because of that ejection early on in the second half. Remember, 3 players for each team were ejected about 5 minutes into the second half for coming off the bench during an altercation. Darius Ford had 11 all in the second half, 3 of 8 from beyond the arc, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Jalen Colon also had 10. He was the 4th Bulldog in double figures, 3 of 6, all from beyond the arc, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. McClain had 7, Riley had 5, Raheem had 3, Crosby had 2, McGriff had 2, Way had 2, Enang, Smith, and Say played and did not score. The Alabama A&M Bulldogs go 17 players deep tonight to the Wildcats 8.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy difference. And to be able to have a score like this, to be able to win like this, knowing that another team has so many options outside of just those 5 guys that you really have, it just shows, man. It just really does.
For the Wildcats, Trey Thomas eclipses 20 points for the 5th time this season. He goes 24, 1 rebound shy of a double-double. He's got 9 rebounds. After a tough night at the free throw line, On Saturday, Thomas goes 9 of 10 from the stripe, 7 of 21 from the field. Again, he doesn't take the most active, well, not active, but like the best shots. He can dribble into tough threes, into double teams. He turns the ball over. But when you need a bucket, Trey Thomas, he will be there and get you buckets. Jesus Carlero-Martin, I think his best performance of the season. Tying his season-high 17 points. He had a double-double with 11 rebounds. He also had a steal and 2 assists. Daniel Ruzon, 16 points off as the starting center. 6 of 12 from the field, 4 of 5 from the free throw line. Khalil Kamara, big as well. 15 points for him tonight. 5 of 12 from the field. Just 1 of 6 from 3. Tough shooting from outside for Kamara. But all credit to Khalil. He recognized it wasn't his night. Started driving, chasing defenders off the three-point line and get into the arc. At the fifth Wildcat in double figures was David Onanina, who for the second straight game gets 14 off the bench in the first half. He was one of those players tossed at the beginning of the second half. Or we could be talking about an Onanina 30 piece tonight. Yeah. He was that good.
Definitely.
We're just waiting for the band to calm down a little, to stop playing before we get Coach Theus on for his post-game interview here on the CatEye Network post-game show. In the second half, the Wildcats limited the Bulldogs to 34% from the field offensively. In the first half, they were at 47%, almost 50%. They scored 41 points, only 34 points in the second half. Again, this team does it with defense. When times are hard on the offensive end, the defense steps up.
Yes, definitely. But what really did help them as well, though, in my opinion, was the loss of Alabama A&M's 2-star players. Chad Moody being in and out the lineup due to injury, and AC Bryant getting ejected from the game really hurt their scoring. So the way the Wildcats were starting to apply pressure, Alabama just had no answer and no help outside of their 2 best players to continue scoring for them.
The Wildcats dominated the glass tonight, 46-27 and 18-11 on the offensive glass. Second chance points, however, favored the Bulldogs, 14-11. The Wildcats turned the ball over 13 times, leading to 14 Alabama A&M points off turnovers. The Wildcats only got 10 points off of Alabama A&M's 11 turnovers. As we now welcome Coach Theus to the CatEye Network postgame show. Coach, I think I'm going to start right there. For the second straight game, you dominate on the glass, but lose the second chance points battle.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it? But you know, when you think about how many offensive rebounds we had 18, and that's just a matter of the type of rebounds they are. Some of them are not putbacks. Some of them are just, you know, catch the ball and pull it back out kind of thing. But getting 18 offensive rebounds is really big for us. I thought we did a fantastic job defensively tonight. You know, teams are always going to make some shots. So you have to weather that when they're coming back. And we've done that a couple of times now. They're going to make shots. You guard your man, you're switching, and then you got to play for each other. And then down the stretch, you got to play smart.
Talk about the adversity, right? You're down to 6 players at the end of the game. I mean, we can skip over the altercation at the beginning of the second half. That is what it is. But talk about the heart of these guys to come in, 6-man rotation, finish out the game.
Well, first of all, I thought the referees did a great job. I thought they did a nice job of being decisive, finding out what was going on. They didn't overblow it, and they suspended 3 players on both sides, and then they gave both teams technicals, which I thought that was very fair because really nobody threw a punch. So that was smart. It was all about coming out on the floor. Now, I blame my assistant coaches for allowing our players to come on the floor, and I'll let them know about that when I get into the huddle.
Definitely.
But again, down to 6 players at the end of this game. A lot of guys playing a ton of minutes. You had 5 guys play over 30 minutes tonight. Well, to talk about it's all conditioning, right?
So it's a bunch of stuff. Number one, it's conditioning, but it's more understanding that we can't play their style of basketball. They play 15 players. They want to run and gun, and we have to play our tempo. If I'm not acting like a raving maniac, you know, our guys have a tendency to just go off rails, and so I have to always try to corral them and slow them down and make them understand the game is played in 3 or 4 different speeds, and it's not always 100%, you know, to the wall. So you have to play the game with a tempo that works for you. They had nobody that can guard us. Okay, they couldn't guard us inside. They couldn't guard us from the perimeter. So if you're running up and shooting shots, then it really just is, you're playing into the other team's hand. So it's just a matter of a bunch of stuff. It's a matter of these young guys growing up and playing and understanding what it takes to win games. Not necessarily just to play good, but to win games.
And speaking of those young guys, how important is a guy like Jesus Carralero-Martin? Like, beyond the stats tonight, 17-11, double-double, in my opinion, his best game of the season.
Yeah.
But as a veteran presence on the bench when games get crazy like this.
Well, there's a lot of different ways that you tempo the game. I tempo the game a lot of times by throwing it to Jesus and also throwing it to Dan. That slows the game down. It makes our guys move, and now you're playing from the inside out. None of my teams will ever play from the outside in. So if you're thinking that, you're in the wrong building.
Big 6-day stretch for you guys. No games until next Saturday. Then you go on the road. Tough stretch against the Texas
schools. And we really
schools.
need it, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I mean, whenever you get down to 6 active bodies, it's tough. But how important is this 6 days to get ready for a tough road trip in Texas?
Well, listen, I've got Reggie Ward, who's kind of on the line of coming back. I'm trying to get an understanding of when he's going to make his appearance back. But, you think about Khalil, who's filling in for him. He's done a fantastic job. So, next man up. And when you think about having 4 or 5 days off now and going into, I think it's Prairie View, is that what it is?
Prairie View and Texas Southern.
Okay,
yeah.
so when you think about that, we'll be fresh by that time. I'll give my guys the appropriate amount of rest. And it's really about scouting, and it's really about us. It's really not about the other team anymore.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Congratulations on a good weekend.
And before you go, Coach,
yes,
you guys
sir.
are now number 4 in the SWAC conference. How do you feel about that?
I'm actually somewhat disappointed because I think we should be 1 or 2. But when it's all said and done, we're fighting injuries.
Okay.
And our job right now is to keep the ship going in the right direction until we get a couple more of our guys back.
Okay.
All right. But I appreciate it. It's a good question.
Of
Thank
course,
you.
Coach. You have a great night.
All right. Thank you.
Once again, the Wildcats men sweep the weekend. They win this one, a high-scoring affair over Alabama A&M, 89-75. My voice almost didn't survive this evening. 89-75. Thomas with 24, Carralero with 17, Ruzon with 16, Kamara with 15, Onanina with 14 again all in the first half. I'd like to see David Onanina play a full game. We haven't seen it.
Yeah, he would have had a monster game tonight, especially the way he was playing. 14 points again in the first half. Ooh.
TJ, your final thoughts on a really wild game here at Moore tonight?
My final thoughts, Mike, just grit, grind, dedication, man. All odds against them. They didn't have the players. They lost some players mid-game, and they still fought it through with only 5 guys and really 1 guy off the bench. So I'm glad that they figured it out and they got the win, Mike.
Once again, the Wildcats take it 89-75. The Wildcats move to 9-13 and 6-3 in conference play, on for a top 4 seed at the moment. They go to top-ranked Texas Southern and Prairie View next weekend. So that Texas Southern game is going to be important. Prairie View, a team at the bottom of the standings, a game you think you pretty much should win. Alabama A&M falls to 7-15 and 3-6 in the SWAC. And with some of the talent on that team, it's a really rough spot for Coach Hewley to be in.
Yeah, definitely a rough spot with injuries and with ejections and losing your best players. Part of that game, too. It's very hard to bounce back from that. So hopefully they can shake back next week and work together as a team.
That'll do it for this edition of Bethune-Cookman University Basketball on the CatEye Network. For TJ White here at the broadcast desk, producer Lee, and our entire student broadcast crew here at Moore Gymnasium, my name is Michael Turillo. Thank you so much for watching all weekend long. We'll see you in 2 weeks when the Wildcats return after their road trip to Texas. We'll see you then.